And I want to thank everybody out there for dialing us up today. I had fun with you, and I hope to see you all back here on a Friday edition of The Rich Eisen Show.
All their ferocious head-banging rock. The story behind it.
There were tons of ideas.
And a virtual Metallica tour with a different live concert from the archives every day.
Oh, yeah!
Mandatory Metallica, the band's exclusive SiriusXM channel, here through the month of May. Find it on the SiriusXM app and listen at home with Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant, or however you stream in the house. Mandatory Metallica.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-256-2143. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-256-2143 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-256-2143 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-256-2143.
When you add Power Service Diesel Clean plus cetane boost to your tank, you engage Power Service mode. And when you're in Power Service mode, it's as if everything runs smoother. You hit every green light while going through town. Your kids stop asking for money. And that normally inattentive waitress refills your sweet tea 3 times without you ever asking. You know what else runs smoother while in Power Service mode? Your diesel engine. Because Power Service Diesel Clean plus cetane boost cleans injectors, removes deposits, and boosts cetane to restore lost power and fuel economy. And it's the injector cleaner endorsed by Cummins. So remember Power Service Diesel Clean plus cetane boost every time you fill up. And get into Power Service mode. Visit powerservice.com.
Be part of the nation's premier heavy specialized carrier network. Lease your truck and trailer to Landstar. The Landstar load board is full of opportunities to haul heavy and specialized freight. If you don't pull heavy specialized now, you may have the chance to learn at Landstar. Earn more with Landstar's percentage pay model and let Landstar's innovative mobile apps and discount programs help put more money in your pocket. Call Landstar today.
No, leave me on. That's good.
472-0099.
Hello, everybody.
Go to lease-to-landstar.com.
The Tony Bruno Show.
Hey, folks, this is Tony Bruno, and you can now hear my show weekdays on SiriusXM Channel 211.
Yeah,
you know
we need
me,
to
I've been
re-record
around
those.
forever,
The Tony Express, do no gods. Yay!
Harry Mays. Well, we talk about sports, right, Harry?
Speaking of which, that's going to be one of the T-shirts that Heath is working on next.
Right now, Tony.
But we have fun doing it every day.
And
Catch new episodes of the Tony Bruno
there's
Show.
some new shirts up on the Tony Bruno Show shop, so check them out.
At 3 Eastern on Dan Patrick Radio Channel 211 and the SiriusXM app.
Isn't it about time for somebody's favorite radio program?
The Tony Bruno Show.
The man chosen to save American radio from its horrible future.
He didn't invent radio. He just perfected it.
Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays.
Parental discretion is advised.
The godfather of sports radio.
It is a final.
Here is Tony Bruno.
Tony Bruno.
It is finally Thirsty Thursday, and no one has more thirst for sports action than this program right here. Welcome, kids. It's Tony Bruno on SiriusXM 211, SB Nation Radio on Twitch.tv. Tony Bruno Show if you want to watch the festivities. And I'm wearing my shirt that we should be all wearing today, Harry. No, not my R.I.P. Harambe shirt. I can't find that one. It's lost in the wash. Harry's got his Temple University Under Armour shirt on. You look like a ball coach today, Harry. You look like you're ready to go out. You got a golf hat, and then you have a Temple University football polo shirt.
Yeah.
That's not a golf shirt, though. That's just a polo. That's a coach's shirt, right?
Correct.
Did you get that from did Bruce Arians give that to you?
I got about 20 of these, Tony.
Well, that's right. You worked for You did the broadcast.
Yeah.
It's always good when you get free gear from the school.
Free gear. Free sneakers.
The whole bit?
The whole
Did you
bit.
get Under Armour sneakers, too, or are they Nike school?
Yeah, a couple of pairs of these.
Nice.
And it's pretty
Good
nice.
job out of you.
Yeah. You got to take it. If they're giving it, you got to take it.
Oh, you're damn right,
yeah.
man. Damn right.
Yeah.
If not, you just go into the store and just go get it when you need it. You know what I'm saying?
swag.
Meanwhile, we have a fun show today. A lot of good stuff coming up on this Thirsty Thursday. We'll crack open a cold one. No, not a Marco Polo shirt. Now, we only do that in the pool. Come on.
Right.
Come on, Howard. When you're in a swimming pool.
I hated that.
The Marco Polo game?
I never got it. I was never like.
I loved it. I do it still to this day. If I'm in a pool somewhere, I'll start the Marco Polo with kids.
That figures.
Yes.
You got to do it.
I figured you'd probably do that at a nice resort.
I
too.
did it. I would do it in Cancun.
Yeah.
I'm in a pool doing water aerobics.
Yeah, and I'd be sitting there in the chair. Who's that idiot?
You would be saying that to Tony.
That's exactly what.
Marco
That's exactly.
Polo, come on, Harry. What's the matter with you?
You go, Marco. I go home.
Come on, did you and Dan Patrick, when you were together in that pool a few years ago, did you play Marco Polo?
No, we did not.
That's what 91.6 is. Harry tried to play Marco Polo with Dan Patrick in that pool back in the day. That was in Arizona, right?
No, that was at the Lowe's Anatole Hotel Resort in Dallas.
Wow, you don't even know that. Did you know his room number? Did you find out where he was staying?
No, he wouldn't tell me.
And Dan Patrick said, go home.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Somebody get this guy out of here.
We got a lot of baseball. Now, the baseball news today is starting to percolate a little bit. And by I mean percolate, it's like when you turn the pot on and you have one of those old school glass percolators and the water just starts to bubble just a little bit before it starts going up the long chute and then spilling over. Back in the day when you had the regular. Did you ever have one of the glass ones?
I didn't have one of the glass ones. I had one of the aluminum ones.
Yeah, the aluminum. But the glass ones were cool because you could see when the water warmed up and then shot up through the tube and then spilled over the beautiful granules of coffee, the grinds, and you got a nice, good, dark brew, Harry. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, baseball season. Bob Nightengale says there's going to be baseball, Harry, and he's going to join us on the show later on this hour.
Yeah, he's on the hook now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of the few guys that I know that's really out there saying they will play.
Yes.
For baseball.
He's not saying it's a stone-cold guaranteed lock, bet the house, the kids, everything. He's not calling the Philly Godfather or Joe Eunice to find out what the odds are. I wonder if there is a prop bet on will there be – I'm sure there has to be. Will there be baseball this season? That's got to be something you can bet on, right?
You can bet on that, yeah.
You can bet on anything. Did you say, by the way, Philly Godfather was 3-0 in Korean baseball releases overnight. I saw that this morning. He's still giving out winners, even in the Korean Baseball League, while we wait for the American Baseball League to get their action going.
Per bet online, Tony.
Yes.
Will there be an MLB regular season? This is Bob Nightingale's Twitter. Yes is minus 500.
Wow.
No is plus 300. So that's pretty heavy.
Yeah, that means you got to bet $500 to win 100.
To win 100, yeah.
That means there's going to be a baseball season.
Yeah.
Does that mean the Groundhog's coming out again and telling us that we'll have 6 more weeks without baseball? Because that's pretty much a lock. Because even if they make a decision by next week, Monday's June 1st, right? Even if they make a decision by then, it's still going to take a long time to get these guys down to wherever they're going to play.
Yeah, the July 4th thing's not going to happen.
No, absolutely
no
not.
way.
And he even says so. It's not going to happen by the 4th of July. And there's no hard deadline. So we'll talk with Bob Nightingale. But, you have a lot of players still yapping out there. Max Scherzer was like, hell no. Hell no, we won't go.
Yeah, he tweeted last night, after discussing the latest developments with the rest of the players, there's no reason to engage with MLB in any further compensation reductions.
And then how about Scott Boras, super agent, who has a lot of the guys with the heavy cash playing in the league. He's urging his clients to refuse any salary cut, quote, let the owners take some of the record money and profits from the last couple of years and pay you the prorated salaries you agreed to. So this doesn't sound like there's any softening right now, Harry.
They're digging in.
No, they are digging in. And so while Bob Nightingale is like I am, we're hopeful. He's not guaranteeing. He just thinks that there's no way that they can go ahead. He'll join us next hour, by the way. And I'm with them. I think they'll eventually, but the time is running out, and that's what we've been saying. Because once you get to a certain point, and then you would finally agree, yeah, let's play, and we know we're happy with the money split, then you got to figure out where we're going to go. At least hockey, as I said, knows where they're going to go. For the most part, other than the two hubs.
Yeah, they haven't narrowed it down yet.
But they do know it's going to be two hubs.
And they know how many teams.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yesterday, speaking of hockey, a lot of the players started reacting, especially the seeds. You know, there's top 4 seeds in the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. We talked about this. And then yesterday, for example, the Boston Bruins and the Tampa Bay Lightning guys were not very happy with the round robin for the top 4 seeds. Because if you play the most of the season, which they did, and then you're in 1 seed, then you could play a first round robin and be knocked down to the 4th seed. And so they're going to do it. They're going to agree to do it, but they wanted to bitch a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them. Do you?
Exactly.
You played the whole season. If they told the bottom tier teams to go home, there's nothing to play for, you've got to reward the top 4 seeds and make them the top 4 seeds based on the standings as they were.
Hey, there's a lot of things that I've had to do in my career that I didn't want to do, but I wanted to let people know that I didn't want to do them. You
well,
know what
not
I mean?
me. That's not my style, Harry.
Yeah.
I've never had those kinds of situations develop. That's why you'll never see, other than the throwing of the sponges in the studio yesterday, any kind of hard objects being thrown in the studio. So we'll talk about that with Bob Nightengale about baseball next hour. Chris Mortensen is going to join us this hour too, Harry, with the Mort Report. The NFL. We know this. Even Pennsylvania is allowing teams to come back. So the teams are going to be going to their practice facilities soon. We're going to see some mini camp action soon all over the country. That's the good news. And football looks like, of all the leagues, Harry, they're the ones that are continuing to do their normal business, even though the virtual stuff is going on now.
Yeah.
But remember, they don't start. They've missed a couple of mini camps. But if they start getting stuff in June, maybe some mini camps, some contact out on the fields, actually throwing a football around and running drills as opposed to, let's do a virtual coaching session. You in the back room. You falling asleep back there? I'm trying to tell you something, son. Put your damn phone down. Stop sending out Instagram nudes to all your honeys on IG. Do that later, buh.
Well, that's the thing. Like in any other year, we used to yawn at these mini camps. You know what I mean? Like there's really not much news that comes out of it. Maybe a guy doesn't show up, and then we throw things and yell and scream and say that he's doing the wrong thing. But this year, it's just going to be so cool to see guys actually out on fields throwing and running plays.
And throwing down. I mean, there's always going to be that heated competition when it gets hot and humid out.
It's pretty hot out today, man.
It's humid. It's not the heat.
Yeah.
It's the stupidity that gets us all the time. Very high humidity here. And that's your traffic and weather together. And traffic is starting to pick up all over the place, right?
Tell me about it.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Yes,
you just drove in. I only had to walk down 2 flights of steps.
Yeah, it is. It's getting
and Ryan Rothstein, I mean, he drives all the way from Ventnor, New Jersey every day. And Conlon Farrell, he drives all the way from Brigantine Castle, where he's living right now during the quarantine.
Why don't they commute together?
Well, one's north, far north of Atlantic City.
You can meet at the Farley Plaza or whatever.
That's a good idea. I mean? Maybe we can get Joe Kraus to buy us like a little mini bus.
Because then that would be one more parking spot left for me when I get here. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
How about just park a camper out front? Just start having a little mini pods for the producer, for the intern.
Can't you take the train from Atlantic City? Is that running? The Patco, whatever that line is down there? It ends in Atlantic City?
We can run the electrical through the window here, like real high class.
Yeah, that camper outside.
Right.
Then we just run the effluent right down into the sewer at the corner.
Right.
And then that's really okay because the water just goes out, so all the crappy water goes anyway. You know what I mean? I got a hose outside. We'll put the hose connection. I can run power.
And then once a week,
be like Uncle Eddie.
Uncle Eddie can say, "Hey, the
shitter's
full."
Yes, indeed. That's a quality item right there. Then we can take some of the furniture that the cats have wrecked and take it outside, and then somebody say, "Hey, no, don't throw that away."
Right, I'll take that.
That's a quality item right there, Clark. Anyway, we're just getting this party started. Chris Mortensen coming up this hour. Bob Nightengale will talk baseball. We got so much stuff to get to. Also, we'll have MMA updates, college football updates, EPL updates, Harry, Iron Mike Tyson update, and a Harambe. We will pour one out today for the great Harambe. His death 4 years ago today at the Cincinnati Zoo, I believe, was the the absolute beginning of all of the bad news that has befallen America. Ever since that fateful day, Harry, everything has gone to hell. R.I.P. Harambe. We'll have a audio tribute to Harambe later on in the show. I don't want to do it too early. I don't want Harry to break down emotionally when we pay our tribute. But you'll pour one out, won't you, Harry?
Yeah, I got a little water here.
We have Hennessy. We should bust open a Hennessy.
No, that's too good.
Because when you pour one, I have a couple of bottles. Our buddy Eric Cohen brought a couple of small reinforcements.
Yeah.
Because our regular bottle is dangerously low. But we do have a couple of little Hennessy's. And if you're going to pour one out, you have to pour one out with Hennessy.
No, I'm not pouring out Hennessy.
No, I don't mean pour. We're not throwing it out. Pouring one out means have a drink.
Oh, okay.
We'll do a shot for Harambe. Harambe
Did you
took
see Harry's face? He was like, we can't pour it out.
You can't pour that out, man.
He's like, no, that's sacrilege.
Yeah.
What are you
I
talking
will not
about?
allow it.
No, we're not. You think we're going to pour out Hennessy?
I'll throw more than headphones at you. You start pouring Hennessy on the floor.
Oh, my God, that was funny.
We are just getting this party started. It is a thirsty Thursday, the whole gang. We have to do a temperature check, though, which we didn't have time to do before the show because we were preparing right down to the last second, Harry.
The Twitch stream wanting to know if McMullen will make an appearance today. I think he's tomorrow, right?
Yes, tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Brooklyn in the house. They know Hennessy. Everybody knows Hen Dog, Harry. You have to understand the importance of Hen Dog in the community right now because that's why we're here. In the meantime, we'll take a break, come back, and Chris Mortensen with the Mort Report. A lot of NFL news to talk about, including, I think, Troy Vincent, of all these union leaders for sports leagues, is absolutely killing it for the National Football League Players Association. Former great defensive back with Miami, with the Eagles, of course, played for a long time. I think he's the sharpest player representative there is out there in sports. And we'll talk to Mort about that. Plus, Harry's getting ready. EPL, Harry, where will you be on Wednesday, June 17th?
Well, I'll be doing a show here, but if they start at noon, I'll get
we'll have
some
it on.
action.
We'll have the action on right here. And then Saturday mornings, you'll wake up. Will you watch soccer or will you go to the golf course?
No, I usually can get a good first half, 45 minutes in before I head out.
Chelsea early in the morning?
Sure.
Yeah. We're coming right back. Tony and the whole gang on a Thirsty Thursday.
What is your email? Sports?
No, Tony Bruno Show at Gmail.
Oh, okay.
Everybody knows it.
Tony Bruno Show at gmail.com, yo. Harambe.
And for those of you who think, oh, now I can email Tony Bruno, it's posted everywhere, so it's not that big of a deal. But he's not going to respond to you anyway.
I'm not going to threaten anybody that emails.
Tony doesn't reply.
And wait a minute. Oh, wow. Now we have a reinforcement.
Oh, nice.
Remember, Harambe took a shot for us. We have to take one for him today.
We need to have those little mini shot, the plastic mini shot
I
glasses.
just saw them in the supermarket the other day.
You should have told me that was on the menu today. I had a tits out for Harambe shirt.
Did you have a tits out for Harambe? Oh, come on, man.
Come on.
How do you not know this stuff, man? That's the first thing I saw trending this morning, Harambe.
Hennessy burns, baby. No, it's nice and smooth.
That's exactly what I said.
It's smooth.
Harambe took a shot for us, so we'll take a shot for him, Harry.
Legend has it that Bruno once played Marco Polo at the Playboy Mansion Grotto.
Absolutely.
You were never in the pool, though, were you?
Yes.
You've actually been in the pool?
The pool is the grotto, the front of the pool.
No, in the water.
Yes, in the front there. That's where everybody dances. And then
Tony,
they go.
did you get in the water in the grotto?
Yes, I did, Robin.
Okay. See, that
Yes,
was,
I did.
Because I know that I've seen.
Didn't you get in the water with me in the grotto?
No.
That one time?
No.
That must have been some other chick.
See? Keeps forgetting.
I actually
Too
went.
many
One of the
of them.
times I went, I actually did a contest on the air. I did a contest having women who wanted to go with me to the Playboy Mansion write me an email and tell me why they should go and send me pictures. You should have seen the unbelievable. So there was so many hot chicks who wanted to go. I took 2 chicks to the Playboy Mansion.
See, the only photograph that
That's the way you do a contest. You just can't pick one. You know what I'm saying?
The only picture that I've ever seen with you was the one in the grotto where you're wearing your lovely really bad sandals, and everybody's looking at them.
And my beautiful mustard yellow.
Yes. The pajamas were fine. It was
I still have those pajamas.
It was the choice of shoes that were questionable. And I think I've seen you another time.
That's what I'm talking about.
With you're holding a drink, which Harry would say was way too pink. I think you're holding a vodka.
That's the one
Grand.
I've seen. That's the picture I've seen.
Hey, I'm not the bartender.
And he had those clogs on or whatever those.
Well, no, okay.
They're
so
my leather
that was
shower
where he's
shoes.
sitting, and there's women all around him in the grotto.
Yeah.
But there's another photograph of him in front of the house.
Oh, I've
where
never seen
he's
that.
just wearing a regular shirt, and he has I think it must have been an ESPN gig or something, because you have your credentials around your neck.
No, those were any time you're there. No, it was an MMA. It was a UFC thing. No,
okay.
No, it was Strike Force. Strike Force had a night there, and they actually set up an octagon in the back, and that's when Hef was living with the two chicks from the TV show.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that show he had?
Yeah, it was terrible.
I forget, but the girls next door.
Yes,
something like
that's
that.
it.
And Hef, that's when I got to meet Hef. That's the only time you see him, because he was never out at the parties. He'd be asleep by 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
The guy was 90 years old. But the one night they had the UFC event there, so I hosted it, and Hef was sitting in the front row. And I have pictures of that too. That was pretty cool.
Rob, did you see that? You need to get those photos.
I wasn't sitting with Hef. He was in the front row. I was just on the
Okay,
side.
I need help, Tony. I'm in the Tony Bruno Show website. Oh. The Tony Bruno Show website does not have the Amazon wish list. I should probably do it. It's actually on the twitch.tv.
Two chicks at the same time, man.
Yes.
But you know what? That's
There
a
it
good
is.
idea. I should post the Amazon wish list on the Tony Bruno Show website as well. Thank you, Beach Babe. That's a great idea. But if you go to twitch.tv/Tony Bruno Show, and under the info page on Twitch, there is the link to the Amazon wish list there.
Jeff Bruder.
Coming back.
Tony went in the pool back before Rob.
Welcome back to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on SiriusXM 211.
Reliving some of the good old days, as we were talking about yesterday with Michelle Stafford. Robin is still very angry about that.
Oh, I know.
Hey, listen.
Do you blame me?
Why would you blame me? I didn't know you then. It's not like I knew you and I said, "Oh, why don't you stay home tonight? I'm going to go to the grotto without you at the Playboy
Well,
Mansion."
it's like you're regaling time before. That sounds like it's better than now.
It doesn't sound like it was better than now.
Yeah, it
did.
did.
And frankly, it was.
The good old days are, yesterday was the good old days for some people. 5 years ago, 3 months ago was the good old days for a lot of people. January in Miami at the Super Bowl was the good old days for those of us in the sports world. So wasn't an insult at Robin. As I said, who's with me now? Who is with me right now? For almost 11 years now. I don't want to hear any of that. You're not trying to cause internal strife here, Harry. We don't play that
I'm
on
good
this
at
show.
that. It's on my resume.
That's right. Harambe has no more good old days. He had good old days 4 years ago. Anyway, we'll talk more about that later. Let's get to some serious football discussion here now. One of my great friends and one of the best in the business, and he's still cranking it out on ESPN with the Mort Report, the great Chris Mortensen with the latest on Troy Vincent and what's going on with the Union. Mort, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Tony? I heard you had Big Phil Simms on recently.
Yes, indeed. We went at it again like we used to back in the 90s at ESPN. But I love Phil, and we all love Phil. He's just a fun guy to talk to, and and his son Chris is doing a great job too. So I think Chris has a better future than Phil right now.
Well, I would hope so. Now, let me just see if I got this right. Now, when you had Phil on, he probably negotiated more than one segment with you, didn't he?
Oh, absolutely.
He has to have time to talk. He's got a lot of stuff on his chest and his head he needs to get off.
Exactly.
So,
funny, when we texted him, he said 2 segments. Yeah. He actually put down, and I wrote, Phil, we can do 25 minutes. This is because you own radio stations over the air, and you get 6 minutes, and you got to try to get everything in, and then they rush you off. And he's, wait a minute, Phil wasn't even getting started until like 8 or 9 minutes into the conversation.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's my man, Phil.
Oh, absolutely, we love him. It's hard not to like Phil Simms. I mean, there's no matter even if you're not a Giants fan, it's hard not. And by the way, I think there are a lot of Giants fans and Giant people in the organization who probably don't like Phil Simms, or he doesn't like, enough about that more. Let's get down to Troy Vincent. Because Troy Vincent, I just said this before we came on, that I think of all the players' representatives, I think Troy Vincent right now is head and shoulders above everybody. Now, I'm not trying to grade him. I'm not doing the Mount Rushmore of player reps. But I think this guy is handling this whole thing brilliantly, especially when it comes to some of the rules. And the one particularly you were talking about was the instant replay review of personal pass interference calls. And he pretty much laid down, he threw the book at the league about pass interference reviews yesterday.
Well, he threw it at himself, which I'll give him credit for. Now, Troy is, I'm not necessarily a big fan of Troy's, as you clearly are, but at the same time, I like people who will take accountability. He's in a position where he can step forward and take it, and it was a bad idea. And when they voted it through a year ago, although it was a one-year experiment, and it didn't work. It was a joke. And I personally feel that, listen, there's got to be some safety net for the call that that we had in the Saints-Rams playoff game a couple of years ago. But you can't legislate judgment calls. I'm sorry, because it's one of those things where a game is played by humans, coached by humans, officiated by humans, and if you add a sky judge, it's another human. If you have Al Riveron or whoever else in New York trying to mess with it, it's another human. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. So, yeah, it was good for Troy to say it was a disaster. Guess what? The Titanic sunk many years ago, too. I already knew that.
Yeah, you're right, though. He did say we all made a mistake. We rushed into it because of the fiasco in the playoff game in 2018 with the Saints and the Rams. And so everybody wants things fixed. And every offseason, that's when the Rules Committee looks at things to fix. But they're not even going to do. You mentioned the Sky Judge, which is what the XFL did. Remember, the XFL, the short-lived XFL, they at least showed the world that you can do it if you have a guy in the booth or a woman in the booth upstairs helping the officials on the field. Why do they completely reject that? Is it because the XFL did it?
Well, no, the Alliance of American Football did it first.
Right.
The Spring League of 2 years ago. And I think that, and Bill Poling was, in charge of football for that league. And as he explained, really, you need an experienced official in that position. And you have to develop them. And so to do it knee-jerk, I think the Sky Judge will come, or you having a guy communicating there down to the official will happen. It's just they're just not ready for it to happen. In other words, there's not enough competent retired or other officials yet, and that's what they need to get to deepen and widen that pool of competent people who can be up there and help the official, the referee on the field, make that decision. It's coming, but I really think one of the reasons right now is there's so much going on with this coronavirus that they have enough issues to tackle. I think that's one reason why 4th and 15 on the onside kick didn't get passed today. It's kind of like, okay, we're constantly tweaking and changing things that we're really ready for. Maybe we ought to just step back and wait for the time being right. Because Sky Judge was good, but you know what? Sky Judge did not get everything right either.
Hey, Chris, moving to some player issues, Jadeveon Clowney allegedly or apparently turned down an offer from the Browns that was pretty significant. What do you think is next for him?
Well, Jadeveon's free to make. That's one thing about being a free agent. You can make your choices as to where you want to play and for how much. And I think that Jadeveon, would like to see things develop here. I mean, this is a guy who's, obviously a dominant force when he's on the field, but has been injured probably too frequently. Certainly wants to be able to choose where he plays. And, Seattle still kind of had the door open there for a while. But, it's, that's what being free is about. You get to make the choice. If it's, and let's face it, it's May. It's still May. It's going to be June. He doesn't have to make up his mind right now. Nobody's in OTAs, off-season programs. Training camp we think may start near the end of July. So he doesn't have to make that decision right now.
By the way, Mort, we're seeing that the commissioner apparently a few moments ago announced that he's going to continue the virtual sessions for coaches for 2 more weeks. So we're all talking about waiting for training camps to open and for the facilities to be reopened. So that's not going to happen now for 2 more weeks. Is that the latest today?
Yes, that is the latest. I mean, and that was the expectation. I mean, I think the coaches knew that. It's going to be. They pretty much felt like it would be, mid-June and maybe a little bit later till coaches are allowed in there. As you know, it's got to be. It can't be like 25 of the franchises are ready for their buildings to be open to their coaches, but 7 aren't. It's got to be equitable, and I think the coaches understand that. I haven't heard anybody protest that, and so I think they feel like they'll be making progress and trying to manage their building. I've heard a couple franchises talk that maybe even when the coaches come back that it may be only a football personnel and a few key executives who are allowed in the building. I mean, there are franchises out there who are talking about putting tents up outside their normal permanent buildings because meeting rooms. Tony, think about this: position rooms. Now I just jumped to players, but I'm just saying it's like if you're offensive linemen or defensive linemen, the big-bodied guys. You ever been in one of those meeting rooms? There's not a lot of space there. So there's a lot of okay, we got to create some space, and then we're going to have to limit other personnel coming into the building. And certainly the coaches are able to work together. It's the virtual meetings with the players, a little more complicated, but attention to detail, especially for incoming rookie players. I think everybody understands that this rookie class, if you have high expectations for this incoming rookie class, you're probably living in a fantasy world.
Chris Mortensen joining us, Tony Bruno, Harry Mays here on SiriusXM and SB Nation Radio. The other thing that's coming up, well, one of the other stories is interesting, and I think you mentioned it. Analytics show that teams that went for it, since the NFL changed the whole onside kick rule, and teams are 0 for 14 that attempted expected onside kicks. In other words, they're down late in the game. Everybody knows they're going to try an onside kick.
Right.
Any team that did that failed 14 consecutive times. Now, obviously, earlier in the games when they're not expected, you get some surprises. Are they going to do anything about that? Because that is an unmitigated disaster as well, Mort.
Yeah, no, I think something is definitely coming on that. I think they just weren't ready. In fact, the 4th and 15 rule proposal we were talking about that was tabled because it didn't have enough votes. I think one of the reasons why is all of a sudden they had 2 changes, this week on the proposal. And so I think there's a feeling among owners saying, hey, if we're changing things at the last minute on the proposal, then the proposal isn't right. But I think it's going to get to a point where, yes, having a couple of 4th and 15s instead of an onside kick, I liked it. The XFL did it. The Alliance Football League did it. They did a 4th and 12 Alliance League because in their mind the athletes weren't as good as the NFL athletes. But 4th and 15s is the right distance. And I mean, listen, it was an onside kick was a high risk injury wise. I mean, it's guys blocking guys, a lot of head injuries, and I understand it, but why they made those changes. But I do believe we're going to get to a point sooner, not later, where we have the option to go ahead, Pat Mahomes, since 4th and 15 is like 4th and 1, to try and convert that when necessary. Only twice a game, never in overtime, and it's with the dead clock. I think that's coming. It's just not going to be this year. I think this year is really focused on, guys, we got to see if we can play football, the football that we know. Let's do that first, and then we can address those things.
Hey, Chris, Carlos Hyde signed by Seattle last couple of days. Devonta Freeman still out there, as is LaShawn McCoy. Eagles have interest, I've heard, in both guys. Which way do you think they'd like to go here?
As much as they like Shady McCoy, I would think that Devonta Freeman holds a little bit more appeal to them, but they're in pretty good shape at running back. But Devonta Freeman is probably has a few more miles left on him, even though he's been injured. I was surprised, to be honest with you. I don't know if you guys were, that McCoy didn't have kind of more success with the Chiefs last year. Were you guys surprised?
Yeah, I mean, there were games that he was healthy and they didn't even put him in the lineup.
Yeah. So that tells you something. Mm-hmm. And I know this much. everybody loves him. I mean, like in terms of in the locker room, in the building, Buffalo loves him. But eventually,
and Andy Reid. I mean, Andy Reid has to love him, and he didn't use him at all for the most part.
Well, everybody loved him, but Chip Kelly.
Well, yeah, Chip Kelly didn't like anybody. Yeah.
Exactly. So, but consider what does that tell you? And I don't know what it tells you. Shady wants a little bit more money, but he's got to understand you're a running back. You're on the downside, and my guess, if you were picking, and I have not asked the people I know there the question, but my guess is you'd rather have Freeman. But now Freeman, he may price himself out of the market too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we remember Seattle last week was talking to both Freeman and Hyde, and a lot of people thought Devontae Freeman was going to be their pick, but obviously Devontae Freeman wanted more money, and they took Carlos Hyde instead. So we mentioned the two guys still available. Tampa supposedly interested in Devontae Freeman as well right now.
Yeah, and they're familiar with him because he's been in their division, and it's good when he's healthy. That's the problem. He got the big contract. Now, I'm not saying they get injured because he got the big contract, but once he reaches a certain plateau level in terms of salary, it's kind of like, okay, are you willing to take a 75% pay cut? You think you're the same player, and other people don't look at you that way. And but in terms of the Eagles, I mean, there's not much not to like about the Eagles offense or the Eagles team, to be quite honest with you.
Chris Mortensen breaking it down. Mort, so there's always football to talk about. That's what's great about it. Even though we got going through this and they're trying to figure out training camps, we know that the NFL at least is on a schedule right now that September is still a few months away, and with the testing increasing everywhere now and the way people are finding out ways to test quickly, the EPL's coming back, and we see other countries doing their sports, and I think that puts more pressure on our country. If the other countries can do soccer and baseball and other sports, why can't the U.S.? And I think that's, again, they're not going to do what they don't feel safe, but they're also going to know that if they can, especially baseball, if they can do it in other countries, why can't we do it here without fans?
Yeah, a couple things. Yeah, and I think there are going to be fans myself. I think it's going to be like 25% capacity or whatever it's going to be, but bottom line is, and the other thing is the NFL has to pay its players. They don't have the problems like the other, because this collective bargaining agreement does not have a force majeure clause, another act of God clause. So the players get their money, but it would impact next year's salary cap. So they'll have to work something out there. But if the owners got to write a check for players to play, they're going to play. And then it's just a matter of how many people get in and how you work that out. But they're working on those details, and I think we're going to have a week one. We'll see what happens after week one, and we just pray for. And you're right, testing is the key. And I think they feel fairly confident they're going to have plenty of testing without taking away from the public need for the testing as well.
And the NFL Players Association is more motivated because they get a cut of the gate as well, as opposed to baseball.
Yeah, yes, but the gate, as you know, the gate is not a big, it's not as big a percentage of their revenue as it is in baseball. So,
no, I hear you.
Listen, the NFL. Here's what I know. I'm just talking to somebody about this. The NFL in the last 5 years, franchise values have gone up on average with 32 teams by $1 billion each. That's the average. No owners lost money. The revenues have been all good. Nobody's lost equity. They've gained equity. Everything trends very well for the NFL, even though this will obviously not be the same level of revenues. Nobody's going poor. And the one thing you would not want to happen, I've seen happen, is hourly wage workers being impacted by a business that still has plenty of revenue.
Hey, Chris, last one from me. Obviously, the media is pumping up the Browns again, and they have yet to deliver. But you talk to people every day around the league. What are they thinking about the Browns this year?
I think that, people think they're going to be good. I mean, to be honest with you, John Dorsey, the general manager, who's no longer there, was putting together a heck of a roster. We forget how good Baker Mayfield was his rookie year. I think that Andrew Berry's come in there as the GM and it's picked up nicely. I mean, they've added a couple key parts, and I think they're going to be very competitive. Their problem, it's the same problem the Baltimore Ravens have and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and especially the Bengals, is that it's a tough division. But I think that, listen, the Browns last year were probably overhyped. Odell Beckham Jr. was part of the problem because he couldn't practice. He was always hurt. He always had something hurt. So your quarterback could never be on the same page. Ask Tom Brady how he likes it when his receiver can't practice and he can't trust where he's going to be on a specific route. So I think they're going to be better. I think they're going to be in the mix. I like their roster. I like the quarterback. But I love their division, and that's not necessarily the best news for them.
Chris Mortensen breaking it down. Even this news that's happening as we speak, the owners got together and said no 4th and 15. And so even though it's only the end of May, Mort, I don't know why they can't implement the 4th and 15 thing. It's not like they're doing it the day before the season starts. But I get it. There's a lot. They have a lot to do. But I just don't get why they would table the 4th and 15 instead of the onside kick stuff. I just don't get that.
Well, table just means you didn't have enough votes right now. But I really think that the last-minute changes this week was like, well, maybe you didn't think this out quite as clearly as you should have. Because if you're tweaking it, and 2 days before we're going to have a vote, it means we can take more time to think about what we're doing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, listen, I'm not trying to rush anything along either, but if they bring that back,
Tony, admit it.
No, I'm not, Mort. I'm not. I need sports. I need football. I want football in September. Baseball, those idiots don't know what they're doing. And, they have the most pressure because they have to get something done very soon, or they're not even going to get 80 games in. At least football, as we look ahead, September, even October if they can't play. I think we're going to see it. I don't think there's any doubt because we're going to see NHL playoffs. We're going to see the NBA. They're going to finally make a decision.
That's right.
Baseball may be the odd man out. And I'm telling you, if they shut it down and these players and the union and the owners can't get together, I think baseball is going to pay a real heavy price if they throw this season away, man.
Yeah, I would agree, even though I'm on the players' side on what the latest proposal was, it's accurate. But I will say this. I am for 4th and 15, Tony. I do want to go on the record on that.
Absolutely. I want to make sure we lock you down, not knock you down more. We'll lock you down. I want you to go on the record and say you think 4th and 15 should be in play this upcoming National Football League campaign.
Yes, as proposed, with the 2 per game, yes.
But as far as pass interference being replayed, you don't care about the Saints or the Rams, and they're crying, especially in New Orleans.
No, here's my answer to that. I don't like all-star playoff crews, and I will say this. When it's that egregious, get the call right.
Exactly. Especially at the end of a game. That's the worst part.
Boy, that situation in New Orleans.
That's what those all-star playoff crews do for you.
All right. Are you down on the officials? Are you down on the officials now?
No, but he's right, though.
I'm down on a system that makes all officiating crews work together all year long where they're comfortable with each other, communicating, maybe even turning it over, helping a guy out, talking it through, and then all of a sudden you put strangers together who didn't work together during the season for the most part, and you're asking them to officiate a game as a team. They're not a team. They're not a crew.
Yeah, that makes no sense. I agree with that.
Well, Mark, we hope the most important thing for me as a friend and a longtime colleague is your health, and hopefully everything's going well. I mean, we have some friends who listen to us. Our buddy Ice Rink up in Ottawa, fighting through all kinds of different issues in their lives. So we hope you're well right now. What's the latest on your condition? Because everybody looks at you and they say, "Wow, Mort's still there and he's hanging in there." How are you feeling?
Yes, he's barely hanging in there. I'm feeling fine. Got the MD Anderson trip next week, but I'm doing fine. Everything, life is good, and praying for all those who are suffering or who've lost loved ones.
Well, Mort, best of luck to you, man, and we'll keep praying for you, and we'll keep watching you on ESPN, man. You're one of the best ever, and I appreciate you coming on the show, man.
All right, Tony, Matt, take care. You guys.
There he is, Chris Mortensen, breaking down the NFL. Good stuff.
So that 4th and 15 rule, we'll discuss that when we come back.
Yeah, we have to discuss. Because and most who could be against it? And again, I don't. These owners get together virtually now. They're not even in a bar room with cigars and Manhattans or Bloody Marys.
Do people still drink Manhattans?
Old dudes do. Yeah. Old white guys who own NFL teams and don't hire minority coaches. Those guys do. You know they're drinking Manhattans. They ain't drinking Hennessy. By the way, we will pour one out.
Yeah.
He took a shot for us. We'll take a shot for Harambe.
It is Thirsty Thursday after all.
It is, and I'm very thirsty right now. I'm parched. Stick around. We're coming up. More good stuff for Tony and Harry.
He's awesome. anybody that's going through any kind of additional health issues, especially if they're taking chemo and it's lowering their white blood cells and they're they're more vulnerable right now, especially. Scary shit, man. Dean
we're not doing dicks out for Harambe today.
Dean Loudbags is reminding everybody that even though I made the mistake and the next giveaway is not Father's Day, it's for 4th of July, because we're giving away one of the really, really cool flag bags, just like Tony's and Harry's.
Yes.
That's for 4th of July. That's coming up. But if you want to get your father something for Father's Day, use the code Bruno25 on Loudbags Inc. .com, and they are awesome. Yep, a bag. It's the bag.
Big.
Tony, do you have? It just worked. Let me see.
Oh, Harry, you're near.
No, he's not.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right on.
He's right on target.
I think I have a fever today. I'm feeling warm.
98.2.
No, I did not get any golf in today. I haven't played since Monday.
That's an outrage.
I won't play till Saturday morning and Sunday.
What do you need now? Water? You got water?
Big Bill Kennedy, get the pipette out for the cranberry. Well, we're doing Hennessy. There's no cranberry that goes in there.
No cranberry.
See, you still don't know how to do it,
Is it
Tony.
the top or bottom part?
It doesn't matter, I don't think. But you just click it once. You're holding it down. You don't want to hold it down. You're still holding it down.
No, I'm not. I just
like me yesterday, man.
all I did was push it and release it.
Yeah, but see, okay, now you did it. Okay, 98.0.
98, right on the money,
that was
baby.
the same as Harry.
Harry and I are locked in.
Yep.
No, it's not. Robin
I was 98.2, and yesterday I was actually perfectly at 98.6.
That's why we played the song.
Because I'm hotter than everybody here, apparently. Just saying. Just like, look.
You just push it once and let it go.
Ryan, look at me. Don't hold it, like not even for a second. Just go click.
We're going to do it. Let's do it.
There you go.
I don't want to do it now.
But you need to do it while it's facing you.
We got to get shot.
So
don't we have those
turn
little
it towards
plastic
you.
shot glasses, Robin, the little red ones?
Yeah, so turn it towards you and then do that same kind of a click. But closer, like right there. There you go.
97.8, everybody.
You're one cool dude.
All right, Conlon.
Yeah, we should probably do this at the beginning, before we allow anybody into the house.
No, we don't.
It needs to be real close, within 2 inches from your forehead.
Got about 30 seconds.
No, click it one more time.
And let it go.
You held it too long.
Yeah, just click it. Like that. There.
No, that was too long. Like literally just tap it.
Put it closer to you.
But yeah.
Tap it
now
once.
Tap it one more.
That's it. There you go.
Now it turned off.
God damn it, Robin.
Here, look at me. I don't know what's. So I'm holding it right. I'm 98.6 exactly.
Wow. Perfect. Absolutely.
Perfect number?
Yeah, 98.6.
Closer.
Well, the Dr. Fauci said that. I had a great line from somebody that asked me about Dr. Fauci today. I said, Dr. Fauci has been
what is everybody's
has been
problem?
doing more flips than Simone Biles at the Olympics. Every day he changes what he says.
Welcome back to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on SiriusXM 211.
Always room for football on the show. Not Jell-O. It used to be, but not anymore, Harry. That stuff will kill you.
Do you know what we learned during the commercial break?
That everybody's finally figuring out how to use our new digital thermometer?
Yes, but also I'm hotter than everybody else.
Well, I mean, who doesn't know that? Especially if you have Twitch TV, you can see it. I look like a degenerate.
I'm like at 98.6, and everybody else is either
Harry and I were dead on 98
and lower.
And we have the same digital thermometer that they use at Burger King, we've been told.
Is that right?
Made in America, too.
Good.
Because you can go online and buy and they're all made where, Harry?
China.
Except this one.
No, this
America
one's
made. All of our products. Our hand sanitizer.
Mm-hmm.
Where is this made? Not China, Harry.
No, where is it made?
It's made right here in the USA.
But it doesn't say what state.
Force Field Skincare. Let me see. I can't. Can you look on there? I know it's made in the USA.
It's made in Arizona.
Is it made in Arizona?
Oh, yeah. It's made in
There it is. Tucson, Arizona, Harry. That's a USA, baby. I mean, that's far south. That's in the deep south, down in the desert.
It's close to the wall.
Close to the wall, and that wall is being built as we speak. It probably will be done before the show, thanks to the great agave hand sanitizer that we use on the show. Look at that. We've had this bottle for a week.
I know. And
there's been 6 people in here, and look how much we have left.
We've used it. Like, I've used it every day.
I do it multiple times a day. That's why this stuff is great. It's made with handcrafted tequila alcohol distilled from agave plants.
I can only go once a day at this rate, Tony.
We're going to do take a shot for Harambe with this?
No, but
we're going to do Hennessy. That's coming up. I need to get a bunch of those little red like solo cup shot things that you use, the one-time use things. We have a lot of shot glasses from all over the world. We're going to have to go with the glass today.
There's a lot out in the street.
Well, there's plenty of shot glasses on the street. You see the recycling in Philadelphia only comes once a week now.
Oh, it's a mess.
And there's 5 people in here, 6 people every day, and we get one recycling container, and I scrunch all the bottles up so it fits in there.
Right.
Meanwhile, I got neighbors next door. There's 3 chicks who live next door. They've got 60 bags of beer cans.
Paper bags, too.
Paper bags. Not only that, they have the recycling container, the blue one, which is a small one.
And it's totally filled.
That's filled 5 shopping bags. And then next door, we have a couple that lives next door to us. They got 15 bags.
I know.
You talk about saucing up over the weekend. Jeez.
They look like they drank your wine cellar, the people next door. Seriously. All right, now this 4th and 15 thing that they tabled.
Not 4th and 26, as we'd get Freddie Mitchell on if we wanted to talk 4th and 26 again. Huh?
So this would replace the need for an onside kick.
Exactly.
If I understand this right.
Yeah, so you're trailing late in the game.
You're losing late in the game, and you got to kick the ball back, but you got to score again.
Exactly.
So instead of doing an onside kick, which you're probably not going to recover anyway, you can take the ball at 4th and 15 from your own 25-yard line. And if you don't get it, then the other team gets the ball, obviously.
And the game over.
And the game's
over anyway if you don't make the onside kick.
Correct.
And the point is, you can make a 4th and 15. And we see it happen all the time.
Right.
And so I think that's – and it's not like you're really radically changing the game.
But it's from your own 25. So even if you make it, you're at the 40. Your own 40. You still have a good ways to go to maybe get a field goal.
I don't know why they put the ball back. What happens if you're at midfield and you have to punt? It's 4th and 15, or you go for the onside kick.
Well, no, this would be after you score.
After you score,
then you
get the ball
score
back.
again.
Exactly. Instead of doing an onside kick after you score, say you're down 2 touchdowns.
Right.
You score, and then you get the ball again at 4th and 15 from the 25.
Needing to score another touchdown to tie the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But at least you have a shot there.
Correct.
You don't have a shot with the on. As I mentioned, 0 for 14 teams that needed to get the ball back who attempted an onside kick when everybody knew they were going to attempt an onside kick under the new rules for the last 2 years. Nobody's ever done it.
Yeah, it says 12.7% of the onside kicks were recovered last season, according to NFL research. So that's pretty slim.
Yeah, 0 for 14 pretty much says it there.
Well, no, I'm reading this. It says 8 of 63 last season of just onside kicks were recovered.
Correct, but most of those that come when non-contested, you don't know if a team's going to do an onside kick. But the ones that matter, teams down late in the game, 2 scores, everybody knows. You score, you need to do an onside kick. Once you don't get the onside kick, game's over.
Game's over.
At least with a 4th and 15, there's a chance.
Wasn't it Sean Payton who started the second half of the Super Bowl with an onside kick against the Colts?
And that's the element of surprise that you can pull off. And you're right, there is a percentage that you can if the other team's not expecting it.
Andy Reid did it against the Cowboys, I think, to start a game one time, didn't he?
And you know what I said at that point?
How about them Cowboys?
Dude, if people ask him about the hand sanitizer, this is called Force Field Skincare, Harry. Moisturizing agave hand sanitizer with silver ion nanoparticles and Force Field essential oil blend.
And they can go on to forcefieldproducts.com.
Exactly. Because there's a lot of hand sanitizer out there. Most of it's made in China. Most of it's just alcohol, dries your hands out.
I need some, by the way.
Yeah, slap some baby on there.
It moisturizes as
right, your hand's really smooth.
Yeah.
You feel like you're a guy who's never picked up a tool in your life, or you are a tool.
That's me.
But you pick up a golf club. You get, Don't you get? Don't you get a little?
In one hand, you do.
Yeah, exactly.
But we would not actually say this if it wasn't true.
No, everybody's tried it here. Are we making anything up about this?
It's really
Ryan, have you tried it? Is that not the greatest hand sanitizer you've ever had? It's top notch, man. Damn right it is.
You have to show, proof is in the cuticles. Our cuticles
now I have some, because I have calluses, because I'm a working man. You know what I mean? I haven't been out on a golf course.
Not me.
Look at that, Harry. I hate to do it to you, man. I got to give you one of these right now.
Harry's hands are as smooth as a baby's bottom.
Exactly. The pickle juice game. Meanwhile, so go to forcefield.com and you can use the promo code, right?
Forcefieldproducts.com and use the code Bruno. Bruno.
And you got, what, 10% off?
No, it's more than that.
I don't know. Let's go to the forcefield.com, Robin, and check it out. All right? And it's free shipping on the orders of 75. They have a lot of products.
Yeah, I want to say, I think it's at least 20% off.
I don't know, Robin. Don't be guessing and misinforming the people. This isn't fake news here. We do not tell anybody the deal if we don't know the deal.
I will double check with my source.
Meanwhile, we got an Iron Mike update, Harry. Everybody's waiting for Iron Mike to return. But one thing about Mike Tyson, he's in great shape if you've seen him.
Yeah, he's ripped, man.
I mean, he's been in the gym, but what he did on Wednesday night was absolutely the stuff that we live for. Now, he's not fighting anymore, but last night on AEW Wrestling on TNT with our guy, JR's Barbecue, Jim Ross at the mic. No people in the audience, but plenty of participants in the event last night. Big Iron Mike walks in with an entourage into the arena.
You
down
have to
there.
have an entourage.
Oh, yeah. Even though they were not socially distancing, they didn't wear masks, but they walk in, and then Mike Tyson and his entourage go into the ring. Mike's wearing a black T-shirt, and then Chris Jericho with the long hair grabs the mic on AEW on Wednesday nights, and he starts talking trash. We have the tape.
He's pretty good with the mic.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an old school guy.
And he's got a rock band, too.
Yes, that's great Chris Jericho knowledge.
Isn't that called Fozzy or something?
I don't know, Harry.
I think it's
let's go to a man who knows rock bands better than anybody.
Yeah,
Mike.
it's Fozzy.
Fozzy, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Is it FSSSIE or ZZIE? Like Fozzie Bear?
ZZY.
Yeah.
FOZZY.
Isn't Fozzie one of the characters on Sesame Street?
Fozzie Bear, by the
Yeah, Fozzie Bear.
Yes.
The Muppets.
The Muppets, that's right. Meanwhile, let's go to the tape last night. This is Wednesday night. AEW Wrestling. Chris Jericho, Iron Mike Tyson wearing a black AEW Wrestling T-shirt, and this is how it went. And listen for Jim Ross as things start getting heated last night.
You the hell out.
Mike's trying to get the shirt. He can't even rip it off.
Apologize to me right now. Okay, you look great. Apologize to me before I knock your damn teeth down your throat. You understand me?
Don't hold your breath, Le Champion.
Uh-oh, pushing and shoving.
Pushing and shoving. Here we go.
Listen to Jim Ross.
Jericho with a blast.
Jericho. My God, all hell is breaking loose. All hell is breaking loose here. The locker room is empty to restrain Chris Jericho and Iron Mike Tyson. Fighting the inner circle. You.
Wow.
I got to put my hands together for that, man.
So was that a setup for an eventual fight between the two of them? Or
No,
was
it was just something to spice up the Wednesday night routine, Harry. There's no fans in there.
Right.
Jim Ross doing the AEW, and all hell broke loose, Harry.
Why couldn't Mike rip the shirt?
I don't know. He's 53. He's in great shape.
He ripped it everywhere except where it was folded over. You know, like where the seams
still, you got to go back to the old Hulk Hogan videos.
Never had a problem.
He never had an issue.
Rob Dibble never had a problem ripping his jersey off when he was with the Reds.
But I know what they did. They used to pre-cut it at certain places.
But
and
Mike knew he was going to have to rip it off. He has to show off his body. That's the whole purpose of him being there. He wasn't going to wrestle. He starts ripping it, and then he couldn't get the bottom part, and then he had to pull it over his body. Unbelievable, man.
Oh, man.
Jeez, Mike.
I think the intern forgot to cut it at certain spots when it was supposed to be cut.
No, once you get the first cut, the first cut's always the hardest.
Yeah, the first cut's
the deepest, too.
Yeah.
You got to rip that sucker right off, man. Come on, Mike. Yeah, how old? He's 53?
He looks good, though.
He looks great. Do you ever see how old is? Did we figure out that
Hulk Hogan?
Hulk Hogan,
66.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan's 66 and rips that baby with one fell swoop, man.
He's had a lot of practice with that by now.
Hulk Hogan looks like he lives on the sun.
He does.
He lives on the sun.
Right,
Yes,
that's what I'm saying.
Exactly. Come on, Mike. How do you expect to win championship? How do you expect to get back in the squared circle? No, not that, Mike. That's a different one. Coming up in the next hour, we will take a shot for Harambe, who took a shot for us. No, we're not going to take any body parts out, unless you want to for Harambe. That's coming up in the next hour. Also, Bob Nightengale from USA Today, probably the most positive baseball writer on the planet's surface right now, Harry. He really thinks there's going to be baseball, and we're going to go with him. Good, next hour. So stick around. It's Tony Bruno, Harry Mays, Miss Robin, the whole gang. We're all temperature safe as we go on into the afternoon on a thirsty Thursday.
Constant high.
Are we going to 57, though? 56, 57 was always what I was told. That's why you were telling me to wrap it. There's always a designated time that Joe would give me so I can hit it so that we come straight back at the top.
Okay.
So I took it to like 57:40.
Yeah, I hit the music bed at like 55 for 3, but I think that's only for 5:55.
Oh, yeah,
So
5:55 is a definite,
like
absolute
30
definite
seconds
hard
too
out,
early.
yeah.
Yes, I hit it a little bit too early.
So what happens in that case when we're 30 seconds too early because they're
We were
pre-recorded?
30 seconds too early. We were like 10 seconds early, so we won't hit exactly at the top of the 4 o'clock
Yeah,
hour.
but this second promo gives us the wiggle room. That's
Okay.
why I called Sirius yesterday, and they're like, you have that flexibility.
Okay.
If you go too early, we're still on the air. Everything's
Cool.
good. From what I understand.
Got to get some Foreman Mills shirts. Foreman Mills!
Yeah.
You can't rip this Tony Bruno
No,
shirt.
that's
You
heavy.
can't rip
That's
this
a heavy.
baby. This is a gilded, man.
Yeah, it's like the old Jordan shirts, like the collar looks like bacon frying in a pan.
So this would have been like during this commercial break.
I got the temperature one.
Oh, did you? But that would be kind of a good
What did
thing
you
to
get?
start
What's your temperature
doing
today?
on
97.
Instagram.
Josie, did you take your temperature today, man? I did not. Come on, man. What's the matter with you?
Here.
How do we know where you've been in the last 24 hours? Did you take yours, man? What's yours today?
97.8.
97.8.
I think that's what he was.
Yeah.
That's the station that reaches the beaches.
Oh, awesome.
Just one time. You only have to hit it one time and let it go.
Like us, like playing with kids.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
One time and let it go. No, just one time and let it go. You'll hear it beep. With one quick push.
No, do it all during because then that way it hopefully will drive people. Tell them that they can see and hear and watch on twitch.tv.
There it is, 99.5. Oh, he's got a high temperature fever.
Uh-oh.
He is like 1 degree away.
Do it again. Do it again.
No, that's 99.5.
I want to see if it's a fake one or if it's real.
It was real, Robin.
I think Joe's holding
Oh,
out.
no. Joe, you are not allowed to be sick.
Uh-oh.
Do you feel bad? He feels fine?
Uh-oh.
Look, Harry's getting out the stuff. He's going to smear it
I
all
am
over.
playing golf on Saturday, Sunday, and next Tuesday morning.
Oh, no, Josie.
Joe, you don't have the Rona, do you? The Rona.
We need to
We
definitely.
need some shot glasses up in this.
Yeah, let's kill whatever.
We definitely need to pour
That's what my little nephews call it, the Rona. They're like 9 years old.
We need to drink really good alcohol, and apparently we need to smoke some weed, right? Doesn't that help kill it too? Harry?
Yeah. I smoked some last night.
Damn. The studio needs a shake weight. Oh, I remember. Do you remember those?
Dockside Donkey Show ripping Ryan now. You see that?
Spray him with Lysol.
You said that guy with the backwards hat standing behind Harry definitely uses the word John by the way he dresses. Oh, come on, man.
Come on.
We're spraying and playing. That's right. Are we going to inject him with sanitizer now?
Edible lollipops do the trick. Oh, hey, do I still have one of those upstairs?
Henny should only be drank from the
really,
bottle.
Really old, if it is.
Coming back soon, guys. Sorry, a little late here.
We need some edibles.
10 seconds.
Drink OJ with zinc.
Welcome back to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on SiriusXM 211.
Ah, yes, indeed. Because I was talking about last hour, Harry, we had the great Chris Mortensen with the Mort Report talking about the play. And I said Troy Vincent was the president of the Players Association. Obviously, he works for the league. But the Players Association and the league in the NFL are definitely looking like they're getting on the same page. They're all admitting mistakes about the rules changes that they didn't pass. We mentioned the 4th and 15. They tabled that as a way to try to get a team that's down a couple of touchdowns late in the game. They score instead of an onside kick, which goes 0 for 14 when you have to do it the last couple of years. And so those things that they're talking about, and the commissioner has said 2 more weeks before people can go to their facilities. So we don't have to worry about governors now deciding whether or not they can open up facilities around the NFL. The commissioner says 2 more weeks until they can physically have the coaching staffs go to the facilities. Players can go over there and practice. We're talking about practice, work out, go to the facilities and use the gyms. But there are some players who are still resistant to going back. We're going to talk baseball later on with Bob Nightengale from USA Today. But, we know the NHL system. We don't know the hub sites yet, as we've been talking about.
They're going to end up choosing 2.
Correct.
Right.
But we also know that the top 4 seeds in each conference have already been determined based on the games played during the regular season. And so you got teams like the Boston Bruins and the Tampa Bay Lightning who aren't happy. They're going to play, but they wanted to get a little steam off. Because, for example, you're the number 1 seed in the East, Harry. You don't want to go into a round-robin best-of-3.
To have to get the number 1 seed.
Exactly.
You think you've already earned
You've
it, right?
earned the number 1 seed. So why not just eliminate? Now, I also understand the league wants these guys to play a couple of games because everybody else will be playing the elimination.
Well, that's true. That's the thing. Another team, let's say you play, you're locked into your seed. There's no round robin.
Right.
And you end up playing the 8th seed who beats Montreal in that play-in series. And that series went 5 games, the limit. So now that team's played already 5 games. They won 3 of them. They got a little bit of a head start to the team that's laying in wait.
Yeah, and so these are some of the things they have to iron out.
Yeah.
But the players are saying, hey, it's not fair to us. They did send 7 teams home, which I think is the smart thing. The NBA, in the meantime, still hasn't determined whether or not they're going to finish out the rest. And a lot of players there are complaining in the NBA about the situation where it's like, hey, we don't want to come back and play 3 games and then go home because you got those battles down at the bottom of both conferences. And obviously the Western Conference has way more power teams than the Eastern Conference. And so the point is, do they take 16 teams? Because they can't take 30 teams down to Disney.
No.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
Right? So eliminate the teams. So what if you're Orlando and you're one of those teams that's a couple of games out and you have a chance if you win a couple of games to make the playoffs? I understand their argument, but there's a lot of players on those teams that don't want to go there and go through this, to play 3 or 4 games and then wind up going home.
Well, Damian Lillard is one of them.
Exactly.
Because Portland right now, I believe, is the 9th seed in the West. And under that proposal that we talked about yesterday, or that idea of the proposal, where the West would take the top 8, of course, and then teams 9 through 12 would also go. They'd take 20 teams to Orlando.
Exactly.
Portland would be one of those, but they could be eliminated in like 3 games and go home.
And then Damian Lillard points out that they're not just going to show up and start playing. They're going to have a training camp.
Right.
So the players are going to have to go out and organize activities, play with only 3 or 4 guys at a time, and then eventually when they play games that matter, you're talking about weeks of prep. Now, I can't imagine players complaining about having to go work out if they have to play the games. But in the case of the teams that are basically on the bubble,
they should be working out now.
Well, no, they're working out, but I'm talking about playing with their teammates.
Right.
They don't just throw a switch.
Right.
For example, teams like the Sixers who are playing well, they know they're going to be in it. They're going to be in the playoffs, and they'll just play whoever they have to face in the first round. But the teams that are the top-tier teams that have locked in division championships, unless they continue to play. That's the problem the NBA has, because the NHL's already decided it. Hey, you last 7 teams go home. NBA players are still sitting there waiting. What the hell are we going to do next? So I can see it for all leagues. Baseball, meanwhile, we'll talk about that with Bob Nightengale coming up this hour. Now, the English Premier League, we talked about that. We're all waiting for it. They're one of the last leagues overseas to do it because the Bundesliga's back.
I've watched 3 games already.
Exactly. We know about soccer. We know about baseball and the Korean League. Everybody's playing it. So that's why people are mad. By the way, you know whose birthday it is today, huh?
No.
I'll give you a hint. I'll give you another hint. He was part of a family that played together and separately in their careers. 2 of them were Hall of Famers.
Hall?
Close. How about the other family?
Howe?
Damn right. Of course, we know Gordie Howe's the greatest of all time right there. He's in the Hall of Fame, but another one of the Howe brothers. There was Mark and Marty, remember?
I don't remember Marty.
Marty was the third brother. They all played together in the WHA days.
Okay.
The Howes with the Houston Aeros.
Okay.
So Gordie Howe played with his 2 sons, and then Mark Howe, obviously a great player, played for the Flyers as well.
The Flyers,
Hall of Fame. How old do you think Mark Howe is today?
I'd say, is he 59?
Nope.
Older?
Yes.
63.
Nope.
Aren't I out of guesses? Have I gone over?
No, you're still in the showcase showdown there. You have not gone over the actual.
68.
No, now you're over. Now you've lost, Harry. Now get out.
Oh, no! We suck again!
65 today, Mark Howe. And you remember Mark Howe
He
was
doesn't
a great,
look 65.
Great player, but you remember he had one of the most horrific accidents in hockey history that made them change the way goals were made. Remember the old goals had that big point that came out in the middle on the bottom?
In the back.
In the back.
Yeah.
So if you slid into the net, there was this pointed device. There was like a knife sticking out.
Right.
And Mark Howe slid into the crease, and it went right into that area
into
between
his
the
groinal area.
Yeah, it went right underneath there.
Yeah.
And that's a serious injury.
Right.
And somebody said, wow, why did we have that stupid pointed thing when we made the nets? That's when they eliminated that because Mark Howe ran into it and suffered serious injury because of it.
Wow.
You know, that's what all of those warning signs, it's always because something happened. Like you didn't think anything was going to go wrong. Everything was fine until one thing goes horribly, horribly wrong.
It always does in
and then
VH1's Behind the Music, though. You ever notice? Great careers, and they had, and then finally what happens in the last segment? And then something went terribly, terribly wrong. Do you ever watch VH1's Behind the Music?
I used to watch that all the
Good
time.
stuff, man. I love the 80s, by the way. So, yes.
Joe
Before helmets.
Quills, he was the first gelding to play in the NHL.
Exactly right, man. I remember that because the one year I did the Flyers. Right. I did the Flyers between period shows on Philly 57 when the Flyers were on that. And I remember I was in studio, and Mark Howe came in studio with me. And that was well after his accident. We talked about it, man. It was one of the most horrific things you'll ever see.
Like, did they have to sew anything back on? Or
What do I look like, a surgeon, Dr. Fauci here?
Oh, man.
I'm sure they did.
How bad was it?
What do you think, he's John Wayne Bobbitt?
I don't know. Like, now I'm wondering.
Man.
Coming up this hour, Harry.
Boy, I'm looking at the top 50 most gruesome injuries in hockey history.
Well, Grant Fuhrer, obviously.
There's a lot of Flyers in this list.
Oh, absolutely.
Man.
Grant Fuhrer, remember the neck gash.
Of course. Yeah.
But am I right about Mark Howe's injury? Look it up. I'm telling you, Mark Howe was his injury changed the way the hockey nets were developed and built. And you go back and you look at the old nets. I mean, they were different. They were bigger. Remember, they wouldn't even allow the goaltenders to put the water bottle on top.
Here it is.
For the longest time.
December 27th, 1980 was when it happened. Mark Howe suffered an injury that changed the way goals were designed.
Boom.
And
I didn't even look
kept
it
in
up.
place. While playing for the Whalers, the Hartford
You're
Whalers.
a Hartford Whaler.
Howe slid into the pointy middle part of the goal and was impaled by the metal, opening up a 5-inch long gash in his thigh. So it got him on the thigh.
Missed.
Thank
Okay.
God. But, I mean,
that was close.
Oh, man.
what if it gets that femoral artery in there?
I know.
yeah.
He could have died.
Bled out.
The injury nearly ended his Hall of Fame career before it really took off. Wow. So he was with the Whalers.
The Hartford Whaler. Well, the Hartford Whalers were in the WHA too.
Mm-hmm. Then they were in the NHL.
Then they went to the
Then they became the Carolina Hurricane.
Exactly
believe,
right.
yeah.
That is good knowledge right there.
They had a great goal song.
Clint Malarchuk was the goalie, not Grant Fuhr.
Okay.
Clint Malarchuk was the one whose
they
neck
got
was
slit.
completely slit open. Come on, man. My hockey knowledge is pretty damn strong.
The Brass Bonanza. That was the name of the song.
That's the Hartford Whalers. They still play that in Carolina as a
they
tribute.
do?
And when the Hartford team now is the Rangers minor league team up there in Hartford.
Okay.
And that's the Rangers, and they play Brass Bonanza up there.
Do they play at the mall?
Yes, they don't play at the mall anymore,
they
I
don't?
don't think. I think the mall was burned down last night. But no, that was a different place. That was Minnesota, Memphis, and Los Angeles. But it doesn't matter. They don't have any teams playing right now anyway. Meanwhile, Bob Nightengale's going to be ahead. Plus, we got to pour one out. Should we do it now? Are you ready to take a shot? He took a shot for us. And today we are going to take a shot and pour one out for the great Harambe. It was the day after his 17th birthday, Harry, in the Cincinnati Zoo. Some stupid woman allowed her child to get in behind. You remember this, Robin? The child climbed into the bear cages, the bear area. It's not a cage. It was an open area. It was a gorilla. I'm sorry, bear. A gorilla encampment.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid got in there, and Harambe was trying to help the kid. But, the fear is we don't know if he's going to help the kid or try to help the kid out or tear the kid limb from limb. So the Cincinnati Zoo people, those dirty, stinking rascals.
This was even after. This wasn't to save the kid because the kid by then had been saved. They didn't shoot him right away. They shot him later.
They euthanized the gorilla after the fact.
They shot him. They took a shot for us. And the world went to hell ever since that day. 4 years ago. Let's play the great R.I.P. Harambe song today.
Written by Elon Musk, supposedly.
Elon Musk does everything. He even did an R.I.P. Harambe. Let's listen in as we pour out some Hennessy. A shot for Harambe.
Sipping on some Bombay, we on the way to heaven. Hey, man.
Sipping on Bombay gin, bro.
Well, it rhymes with Harambe.
Yeah.
Hennessy doesn't rhyme with Harambe, Harry.
And we thinking about you.
Just a little taste for just
Yeah, Clint Malarchuk's neck slice. That made the list, obviously.
Oh, absolutely.
Thinking about you, man.
Everybody bounce with me now. R.I.P. Harambe.
Where are my gorillas at, yo?
This is funny.
No, it's not. But
R.I.P.
this is
Harambe.
R.I.P. Harambe. Sipping
Gorilla
on some
Monsoon
Bombay.
was not available, though, unfortunately. He left us as well. Who didn't get one? Who needs a Harambe shot? Come on, Ryan. Robin, I gave you one.
Yes, I got mine. Thank
I'm going
you.
to finish off the bottle of Hennessy VSOP, baby. We straight VSOP in here. R.I.P. Harambe.
Bombay.
We thinking about you. Amen. Amen.
Amen. Can I get an amen up in this joint?
We love you.
What, are we waiting for this song to end?
No,
We're thinking about you.
We're thinking about you.
Harambe. That's all. That's all in the zoo. We love you, Harambe. Peace out. That's strong. They just don't write songs like that anymore.
There we
Harambe,
go.
ladies and gentlemen. Let's give him a roaring round of applause. Is Harambe on the Mount Rushmore of gorillas, Harry? That's a great question by Jeff Bruno
Absolutely.
on the Twitch stream.
Coco has to be up there.
No, you got Gorilla Monsoon.
Gorilla
He's got to be up
Monsoon,
there.
yeah.
Harambe. You got
Coco
King
the-
Kong. How about King Kong?
King Kong.
But
King
Coco,
Kong's up there.
Coco's
Coco
a-
wasn't as big
Yes,
as King
she
Kong.
was. She was a.
Hell
she
no.
was
McGilla
a
Gorilla?
McGilla
No,
Gorilla?
Coco was a talking gorilla.
Dr.
She had
Zayas?
like she was able to speak like a 10-year-old.
Not Coco Beware. He wasn't a gorilla at
And
all.
she's still alive, by the way.
Who, Coco? Then you can't put her on the Mount Rushmore. You got to be dead
Oh,
to be
you
up
have
there.
to be dead to
Hell
be up
yeah.
there?
What's the matter with you, Robin? Meanwhile,
Oh, well, then don't put her up there.
we're coming back. More still ahead. It is a throwback Thirsty Thursday with Tony, Harry, and the whole gang. McGill Gorilla. King Kong is the greatest of all time. Come on, man.
Yeah.
They've done like 5 remakes of King Kong.
I said immediately, I was like, King Kong.
Every 3 years is another King Kong movie, whether we want it or not. He was number one, but he took a lot of bullets on the Empire State Building. See how many times they shot King Kong up there? And he never dropped the chick either. That was great.
Big Bill Kennedy on the Twitch said, "Is Harambe better than Wentz?" 610.
Harambe, come on, man. Harry had a King Dong VHS, but a classmate never returned it.
There was a bunch of people earlier that were saying
King Dong.
Here's an article
That's great.
from GQ, the top 25 monkeys and
Gorillas.
of all time.
King Kong's got to be number one, right?
Let's see here. We have Abu from Aladdin.
Oh, that's the little monkey.
Nah, come on, man. He's not even on the top 20. No, Coco died, Robin. We're
She
getting
died
sack
about
deep.
a year ago? Oh, I got to meet her.
Not Gorillas in the Mist. That was a movie. That's what it was about,
She was
right?
amazing.
It was
No.
No.
Gorillas in the Mist was about the woman who went over to Africa and then she got killed. Coco is the gorilla who knew sign language.
And was the woman who trained him that?
No, not
That's
Jane
not the same.
Goodall. No.
So Jane Goodall was Gorillas in the Mist.
No, Jane Goodall. Yes. And then, okay, now you're making me confused.
Isn't Jane Goodall Gorillas in the Mist?
No, no. She's the one that owned
Diane
Coco.
Fossey.
Fossey, yeah.
That's right. Okay.
Fossey was
Sigourney
the one.
Weaver
Yes.
played her. I remember that.
Yes, exactly.
A little less than a minute.
Curious George doesn't count, though, does he? He's not really a gorilla. He's a monkey, isn't he?
Yeah.
Curious George?
If we're
Monkeys and gorillas
but
are not the same.
The GQ was monkeys, not gorillas.
Oh, but Donkey Kong's on
Oh, yeah, Donkey Kong. That works.
King Kong number one on this list.
But
Tony-
King Kong's number one of all time.
Yeah, he should be.
I don't even think there's not even a debate. The Twitch feed is lit today. The
So-
gorilla from Trading Places has to make the list.
Jeff Bruder.
There's a guy in a suit, wasn't it?
Jeff Bruder makes a good point. If Coco's dead, then she's back on the Mount Rushmore list.
I don't think Coco's on the route.
I think
How about Gorilla Radio by Rage Against the Machine, Harry?
No. Tony, there was a bunch of people earlier on because they were talking about the whole Mike Miss thing that they were saying, hey, there is an opening now.
I'm not going to address that. I have three jobs now.
They were saying amongst themselves, they were chatting. They're like, well, this show is during the same time. They should just put this show on the station.
It would be easy.
They should just do it.
Just throw a couple quid this way, right, Art?
Right?
We'd have to do an extra hour.
No, they could.
Welcome back to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on SiriusXM 211.
Oh, the most fun about doing this program, Harry Mays, is that even during the breaks, we can continue the discussions on the Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Tony Bruno Show. The debate right now is top 4 gorillas of all time on the Mount Rushmore of gorillas. Now, we talked about Harambe. We poured one out. That was smooth, that Hennessy, was it not?
Well,
How
yeah.
smooth is Hennessy, man? It's good stuff.
Good stuff.
Man, oh, man.
Yeah, King Kong is obviously
King Kong's number
he has to be
one.
number
I
one.
mean, there's even no debate. Then you can start, a lot of people, the band Gorillaz, of course. We love the Gorillaz. Remember that song? But they're not a gorilla. There is a group called the Gorillaz.
I don't even know them.
Are you serious, Harry?
Yeah.
Now, there's the drink that we were drinking for long, the Grape Ape.
The Grape Ape. But these are fictional characters.
I know.
King Kong was real.
He was totally
King
real.
Kong is real. And he's spectacular. I mean, who took more shots than King Kong on the Empire State Building?
I know.
Machine guns and planes going around. And he still held on to the chick. That was the amazing part. What great tech. Yeah, that's talent you can't teach. Meanwhile, speaking of talent, the great Bob Nightengale for USA Today may be the most optimistic baseball writer in the United States today. And he joins us right now. Bob, appreciate the time, man. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks, Barney.
We were just debating greatest gorillas of all time, and I know that doesn't matter in baseball, but although there's a Phoenix gorilla, the gorilla in Arizona for the Phoenix Suns is also a great mascot. All right, before we get, let's get to baseball, because you have a column today where you say, despite the bitterness, you believe it'll get done. It may not start on the 4th of July. No hard deadline. I think it will happen. You'll see. So you're that sure that we will see baseball this summer?
I really am, Tony. I mean, just the two sides know they have too much to lose. It'd be disastrous. It would be a just crushing blow to the sport, crushing blow to the salaries and to the free agent class this winter. So yeah, they'll reach an agreement. I mean, it's all good right now. It always is at the beginning. But yeah, I'd be shocked if they don't reach a compromise.
I know there is no hard deadline, but deadlines force action. But there has to be at some point a date or a week or two where it would be too late for them to get in any kind of real season, right?
Well, you're still talking a ways away. I mean, for an 82-game season, yeah, you'd probably want to get something done by mid to late June.
Right.
But you could go down to 70 games or 60 games if you had to, and just keep on talking.
You think there would be?
Wow.
There's people are already complaining about 82 is just borderline enough to have a semi-legitimate season. If they played 60 games, you think people would say, "Yeah, that's a good idea. We'll settle for 60 games."
I think they'd take anything. I remember when they talked about if the pandemic was shut on the sport until September, even having just a tournament type thing, just to get some baseball in. I mean, I think people would be upset, but at least 60 games is better than nothing. I don't think baseball wants that. I think baseball wants at least a half a season, to more legitimize the season and make sure that when wins a World Series championship, feels like World Series champions.
We're talking with Bob Nightengale of USA Today. And some of the latest stuff we've seen, and I agree that they have to eventually make a decision because we saw in '94. The players will take the blame, even though there's blame to go both ways. But you have Scott Boras telling his clients to refuse salary cuts. You have Max Scherzer with some strong words just last night about there's no way we can take this. How do they bridge this gap? I mean, it seems like a lot of the players, especially the big money players, seem to be really reluctant to having their salaries cut in half and even more than half.
Yeah, but remember when this whole agreement was signed, it was under the premise that there would be fans in the stands. It even says in the contract, hey, if there's no fans, if there's travel restrictions, you're allowed to open that thing up and talk about in good faith, negotiate new contract terms. So I think maybe the union can do what they want with it instead of having the biggest guys take the biggest cuts. Maybe make it an even slash across the board, that sort of thing. Or some kind of, raise the minimum next year to help the young guys. So I think all the owners were doing in this agreement was what they were doing with their own clubs. Whoever makes the most got the biggest pay cut. So if the players don't want it that way, they can certainly change that around.
How much ill will really exists between the players and the owners because the owners they basically waited a long time until they gave their first proposal, sort of putting the pressure on the players to make a quick decision?
Well, I think the owners will say, well, we were prepared to give a revenue sharing plan 2 weeks ago, a 50-50 split, and then when the union came out and said they wanted no part of it, then they had to go back to the drawing board and do that. In the meantime, they were at least able to come up with a safety protocol, things like that. Not that the union has agreed to that yet, but it was very comprehensive and exhaustive and all that. So it wasn't like they were just wasting time. The owners would love to get as many games in as they can, but their biggest fear is don't go too deep because of the second wave of the virus comes back and cancels the postseason. There goes about $1 billion in TV money.
Mm-hmm. We're talking with the great Bob Nightengale, USA Today, baseball columnist. And the other thing that's interesting is baseball, unlike the other sports, I mean, hockey's going to have hub sites. The NBA is probably going to Disney, but the baseball teams would play in their own stadiums, right?
Yeah, and that was big. Because remember one time they're talking about just playing in Arizona, just playing in Arizona and Florida. And I think the players came out and said, hey, we want to play in our own home city. And of course, the sponsors want to do that. So if you're sitting back and watching a Yankee game, at least you're looking at a familiar site rather than watching the Yankees play in some spring training site in Florida.
Yeah, I think that's huge because that's what a lot of fans want, even though the fans can't go there.
Right. Well, maybe at some point during the season, maybe you could incorporate fans.
Yeah, because football's talking about bringing fans in, and so if baseball's going in September, maybe they start incorporating fans in as the testing gets better and more players can get tested. We test ourselves every day. At the gates, they check your tickets and scan you. They look in your bags. Why not just do a temperature check when fans come in with masks on?
Yeah, and that's what they're doing in South Korea, just with the temperature checks for all the players and coaches. They say when they leave the parking lot and go into the ballpark, they just do a quick temperature check. It takes like 20 seconds, and then boom, you're in there. They haven't had an incident yet.
Now, the other thing we were talking about earlier, and that is, of course, if somebody hits 400. I know that's been debated. You guys have been debating it, all the baseball writers talking about, well, if somebody hits 400, will that count? The World Series trophy is going to be given out, so will they count as a real World Series? Will there be asterisks, my favorite word in sports now?
Well, talking to managers, GMs, players, they'll tell you up and down that a World Series championship this year, providing, say, it's an 81, 82-game season, will mean even more than a regular season because of just everything everybody's gone through. Going to spring training, stopping it, not knowing when it's going to start up again, but just the emotional and physical wear and tear. Now, if somebody hits 400, there won't be an asterisk, but people will remember that in the back of their mind, that, you can hit 400 in a short season, but, doing a long season, it's almost impossible to do. Because if you break it down, there's a whole lot of guys that have hit, 400, over 81 games.
What about something where, in the negotiation where the players maybe, trade like some short-term losses for more big-picture gains down the road with changes in the revenue?
Well, the thing is, the collective bargaining agreement expires in a year, after next season.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't go too far down the road without interfering with that. It's been discussed maybe doing a deferred salaries. I think the fear among the players is you do deferred salaries, and the free agent market gets so quiet this winter, saying, well, I can't afford you because I owe, $50 million of deferred salaries next year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they want to be a little careful on that front as well.
Now, your fellow writer at USA Today, Steve Gardner, writing a piece about Major League ball players look for financial lifeline as they pretty much they've stopped paying the minor league guys, right, as effective today, I believe.
Well, some guys are getting, some teams are still paying them, the $400, $450 a week, but some of these same teams that are paying them are laying off about 30, 40 minor leaguers, just slashing and burning the minor league system. So every team now is really, knocking off about 30 guys on their rosters because there's going to be no minor league season, only 5 rounds of a draft. So everybody's looking to cut corners every way they can.
Yeah, the A's yesterday revealed that they'll stop the payments at the end of the month to the minor leaguers. The White Sox have said they'll pay their minor leaguers through the end of June. The Padres and Marlins have pledged payments to the end of August. Other teams expected to announce their intentions in the coming days. So, this is all flexible. You mentioned depending on the teams, depending on their financial situations, that's how it looks like it's playing out, right?
Yeah, even Seattle, they're getting kudos yesterday, saying, we're going to pay our minor leaguers through the end of August. Then it comes out today, by the way, we just laid off 35, 40 of our minor league players. So what good does it do when you're unemployed anyway?
Well, it says here in the case of the A's, players having those being cut from the team sooner than later might be to their benefits. It's the unemployment payment plus the extra $600 a week would actually be more income than they would be making just by being paid by the team. Wow.
No, that's true. That's true. I run that I live in Phoenix here. I run that all the time with Uber drivers. No Uber drivers anymore in Phoenix. There are very few because they say the same thing. I can make more money on unemployment than I can drive in Uber.
Looking at my last paycheck on the show, I could probably make more money on unemployment than doing this every day.
You think so, too?
Absolutely, but I love doing this, so I'm sacrificing for the good of the people out there. You know what I'm saying?
We appreciate it.
Well, I liked your tweet a couple hours ago because you put out the odds, and obviously when somebody, at a casino or offshore book or whatever says you got to risk 500 to win 100, that's they're going to play baseball. That indicates somebody pretty important thinks they're going to play.
Yeah, you know how gambling is so tied with baseball now. Baseball is almost embracing gambling. So you wonder who they're talking to.
So no, you're right. If it's minus 500. That means they're going to play because the Vegas is, if you're going to lay $500 to win $100 on will we have baseball this year, they know that that's pretty much a prohibitive bet.
Yeah, it's the thing too. Is even Tony Clark, the union chief. I know the show was taped a couple weeks ago, but I think he was on HBO Real Sports over the weekend. And I think they asked him what the percentage chance of baseball playing this year. And I think he said 85%. So, and he's a union chief. He could have easily said, "Oh, who knows," or kind of try to bluff his way, like it's going to be a tough decision. But he was very optimistic as well.
Now, you remember 94, and there was a fiasco, and everybody's, in the bottom line, everybody said, I'm not going to watch baseball anymore. There's all these polls out there. Will you watch baseball next year if there's no season this year? And so there's a lot of things, but people eventually come back because we love baseball. But each time, though, it takes a hit because the younger generation is reluctant to watch baseball. Even the kids who play. It's the old argument with soccer. Everybody has kids that they play soccer, but when they grow up, they don't want to play soccer. Everybody had kids who played Little League when I was growing up and had my kids. Mm-hmm. Now a lot of kids don't even play Little League anymore. And so is this going to hurt the sport long term if we don't play baseball this year and they take another hit in the court of public opinion?
Oh, yeah. I think it would be devastating the sport. I think it would take him decades to recover. Even 94, 95, the McGuire-Sosa home run race kind of helped save baseball. But baseball never got back to that attendance level for 13, 14 years. And I think people with the, 35, 40 million Americans out of work, and everybody's saying come back and play, and guys are fighting over money, I think people would be so disgusted they would turn their back on baseball forever. I really do.
Well, speaking of the McGuire-Sosa thing, have you gotten any advanced look at that 30 for 30 coming up?
No, I haven't. It'll be interesting. I covered a lot of that. I covered more of the McGuire's games than Sosa's games, but that was a cool thing. It was a cool thing to cover. Those guys were juiced up,
yeah.
but it didn't take anything away because it was a show every single night.
It was must-see TV.
You're absolutely right. ESPN would break into games for their at-bats. While they had another game on, they would break in live, either the Cubs or the Giants. It was and the Cardinals, obviously, back in the day. Now, that was a lot of fun. It was like waiting for a space shot, like we were waiting on the other day for the space launch of SpaceX. That's what the at-bats were. But the interesting thing is the Lance Armstrong 30 for 30, the two-parter on Sunday night, bombed, didn't even have 1 million viewers. So The Last Dance obviously was captivated the country, but nobody wanted to see the Lance Armstrong thing with the same fervor.
Yeah, I think just people are so disgusted by him, and we'll see if people are disgusted by McGuire and Sosa. Both are great guys, and I think the way Lance Armstrong treated people along the way is just so defiant, really turned people off. Where McGuire and particularly Sosa were very affable and they very fun to be around during the whole show.
Now, I agree, and the one thing about those guys is, again, we're talking about in the 90s. So there's a generation, because that's when Jordan was reigning supreme.
Right.
There's a generation of people, even if you saw them.
It was 22 years
when
ago.
you see it again and you get some of the behind-the-scenes stuff and just watching those guys just step up there. And then the corked bat, they got to have the Sammy Sosa bat explodes when he had it corked that time. That was one of the most amazing scenes in baseball history, actually happening when he swung the bat at home plate.
Yeah, and it used to be kind of common. Remember, Billy Hatcher got caught. A bunch of guys got caught doing that stuff. But yeah, it was Sosa brought the personality out of McGuire too. I think McGuire was kind of staying to himself, and Sosa was so energetic and everything else. He made it fun, and I think those guys, if it wasn't McGuire, maybe both of them were like Time Magazine Men of the Year. They were that popular. And I remember, ABC News was breaking in every night, giving those things, right on the sports channel.
Well, the question is, Bob, in 2020, do chicks still dig the long ball?
Well, people love home runs. I think that's why that ball was so juiced last year. People love home runs. I don't think they like the strikeouts and walks all the time, but people still love home runs.
No, and I was reading earlier this spring that the ball is going to be different again this year from last year, right? That even in spring training, a lot of the pitchers and players were saying this is not the same ball we had last year. So I'm looking forward to the day when we complain about the ball every single year. Is it tighter? Is it harder? Is it looser? Is it better than last year? Is it jumping out of the ballpark? Those are the kinds of debates I can't wait to have again, Bob.
No, you're right. And you love the sports back end. It's like, when people talk about the Houston Astros, people even remember the Houston Astros, what happened to them once the season starts. It's just like the least of everybody's concerns.
And where will you be when the Bobby Bonilla payment is made this summer? as he continues the greatest contract payout in sports history.
I still call his agent every July 1st. Dennis Silver out of L.A., and he represented, the big boys, Bonds, Tarnable, Saberhagen, George Brett, all those guys. But yeah, he still laughs about it, and Bob Bonilla still thanks him for that.
Well, July 1st, mark your calendars. That's the day he doesn't have to worry about unemployment. He doesn't have to worry about not getting a check. He will get paid. How many more years on the Bonilla contract now?
I think probably 5.
I want to say it's still like 2035.
Oh, 35.
Wow. Yeah.
Man. Well, speaking of the Astros, you see some brewery in Jersey City just put out trash can banger beer. I'm not kidding.
So they know baseball's coming back.
Exactly.
If you're going to put out trash can banger beer, how much alcohol? Is it high alcohol content?
I can't tell. And the can is it of the old Astros jerseys from the 80s.
Brilliant. So it's a metal can, but it's shaped like a trash can, and it's got the stripes, the orange and yellow stripes on the bottom.
Oh, that's great.
That is phenomenal. I got to get a case of that. We may have to pour that on a Friday. One thing, one of my favorite Sammy Sosa's lines of all time, and I have it right here.
Just keep it continue the same thing.
Just keep it continue the same thing, man. When he had that streak going, and just keep it continue the same thing with the home runs.
Just keep it continue the same thing.
Exactly right, man. Bob Nightengale. Bob, always appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on, sir.
Sure, my pleasure. Thank you, guys.
There he is, the great Bob Nightengale, breaking it down, Harry. That was quality baseball chatter right there.
It was.
That's like hot stove quality. It was hotter than the hot stove, Harry.
Or cool air conditioning quality, I said today. At B Nightengale on Twitter. He is good.
Yeah, we love that stuff.
How about that can, though, Tone? I mean, look at that.
I'm showing it now.
I like, when I hear can, I always think, not that can. This is a beer can.
The people on Twitch can see it if they would like. I have it up on the screen.
It's trash can banger, Jersey City's finest waters, bringing you the Departed Souls debut. So the brewery's called Departed
Souls, yeah, in Jersey City, yeah. And they're on Twitter, too, at Departed Souls for people that
Trash can bangers. Aaron, let's pour open a couple of trash can bangers. How about that?
5.4 alcohol content.
Robin scoffs at that. That is so low. She won't even.
That's just water.
She'll turn her nose up to that.
5.4. Knock back a couple of shots of Hennessy with it. Okay?
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's what I love about capitalism. Any bad thing happens, it's still a way to make money.
Anything's
off of it.
fair game,
You're
man.
damn right it is, except on Twitter or social media anymore, but we'll see what happens with that. In the meantime, we still have we've got to do we did the Iron Mike. We got to do this MMA update, too.
Oh, the
Brazilian MMA.
No, there's 2
Hotel
MMA
thing?
updates.
Oh.
We have 2.
Oh, okay.
We have an actual in the octagon update, and also what they're doing in Brazil to keep the people entertained, the MMA fans in particular. So that's all coming up. Tony Bruno, Harry Mays, and open lines, too.
Yeah.
215-462-TONY is the number. I had to get that tattooed somewhere on your body. Not on your back, because it's hard to read unless you're looking in a mirror.
And we are going guest-free in the last hour just so that we can take more of your phone
heavy
calls.
Phones, Harry.
Yeah.
Heavy phones. You call, we talk.
Be a great time to get in.
Great time right now. Got lines open. 215-462-TONY. 8669 if you can't translate your phone. TONY. It's going to be great. Maybe Silk Bra will call in. Maybe the boys from H-Town and all of our friends around the country. Maybe Jim himself will check in. C-Bus.
Stu No
Gotts, all those guys. You're welcome to call. Tony and Harry having fun. Thirsty Thursday, pouring one out for Harambe 4 years later.
Lordy.
Not Iron Mike Sharp.
Oh, the phones are starting to ring off the hook already.
Let's go to the phones. Heavy phones, Harry. Is the guy from Shanks calling again? Shanks? Who called from Shanks?
Now, this Rhine Peach, he's so excited.
That's a
to
place
have
on
found you
Delaware
guys.
Avenue, right near where we used to live. There's a storage facility where we used to have our storage stuff.
Right, it's right near where Washington Street is.
Exactly. Washington Avenue runs into Shanks.
That was the initial storage space that was higher priced until we went to the cheaper storage space. We kept downgrading, until we were able to finally clean it out.
Harambe. Isn't that Harambe song great, man? Who else is playing Harambe rap songs?
So bad.
It is so bad it's good, man.
So bad it's good.
Oh my God.
Da-da-da, Harambe, sipping on some Bombay. Where are all my gorillas at?
They're not playing that on MMR today or even on their HD channel.
Tuna Gots, I made a T-shirt. I'm so proud. Yes, you did. It's on the schedule, as they say, to be designed. Unfortunately, there's so many ideas for T-shirts based upon these two guys.
Not Heavy Kevy from the Dirty 30.
Heath is having a hard time catching up. How the Cats doing? They're doing fine.
They haven't been down here lately, though.
No, I think it's too many people. They're nervous, like a cat around a rocking chair down here. There's too many people. Tony needs a Harambe T-shirt. He'd rock a Harambe T-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
He would totally
Luigi had a Harambe T-shirt.
He did.
He's probably wearing it today.
Well, hopefully he remembers it. Well, the
We
Cats
should call him and get him on the line and see if he's wearing his Harambe, see if he remembered. I hate people who buy the shirt and then don't remember Harambe every year. All right.
Beautiful.
Yes. Yes. Do we have to wear Kangol hats?
So we'll have Eunice at 320, Arians at 420.
And then 520 open. Unless we try to get... Well, no, Lenny, we were going to do every other week.
Yeah.
Joe, Eunice. S. Falcon, Robin, how come you don't get a dog like Luigi?
We have 3 stinking cats, and we can't walk the dog. We're working here 18 hours a day. It's an outrage.
And I mean, now we're not traveling as much, but normally we do travel quite a bit, and there's just no way that it would be fair to have a dog here. But it's on our list of, once we move to a place where we actually have a backyard, dog is on the list of things we definitely want to do. Oh, no. Sorry. This one is the guest line. Sorry. Didn't know what you were asking.
You have to read Coggin Toboggan's application as the program director of 97.5. Did you see it? It's really long, but it's funny as hell. Yeah. I didn't know they had an application for a program director out.
I think they've had it up for...
Okay. But you have to read Coggin Toboggan explains why he should be the new program director. It is hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious at Coggin Toboggan.
No, Dykstra's not on tomorrow. We had him on last Friday, and
Who?
Lenny.
Yeah, no, Lenny's not tomorrow.
No. We'll maybe next week.
Welcome back to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on SiriusXM 211.
Heavy phones, Harry. Heavy tweets. Heavy D and the boys maybe later on if we have some time. Maybe we'll revisit Harambe in the final hour of the show, Harry. I hate all these people who bought Harambe shirts a couple of years ago, including Conlon Farrell right here. He had a Harambe shirt. I said, why didn't you wear it?
Yeah, why wouldn't you wear that? I mean,
what's the matter with you, man? Now, what did your shirt say on it? Tits out for Harambe. That was a big deal. Did he wear it today? You buy it 4 years ago, and now 4 years later you forget all about Harambe. It pisses me off, Harry. Jeez. Let's go back to the phones. Let's go to my man, Play Action Real. Keeping it real. What's going on?
Did the water tell you that?
Yes, she did. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up? What's up, Tony, Harry, Miss Robin? What's up?
What's happening?
What up?
Hey.
What up?
Hey, I'm staying essential. I'm over here. We love our golf courses. We're keeping the golf courses supplied with some. We're keeping supplies with irrigation supplies, okay? So fertilizer and everything.
Oh,
okay?
you mean not your own when you go behind a tree because you can't get to that porta potty or to the clubhouse.
Right.
Now, I have a question because you do irrigation.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any danger
right.
to the golf course if you do pee against a tree? Does it damage the grass?
Oh, no. I mean, yeah, I can see you get just like a female dog concentration fertilizer, yeah, you're going to get a
little brown patch.
No, but like when dogs pee on grass, there's always a yellow
brown
spot.
patch.
When
yeah.
humans pee on golf courses, I never see any yellow spots. Does human urine do the same thing to grass as animal urine?
Oh, these golf courses got it dialed in, Tony.
Oh, exactly.
And Harry knows as well.
Harry's got it dialed in too right
but
now.
But not only that, dog urine is way higher in acidity than human urine is.
You know it, Miss Robin. And Miss Robin had me all worried about buying my four shirt from the wrong spot. And I thought she was going to give me one of those,
No. So actually, Tony doesn't even know about this. There was somebody that was still selling the Tony Bruno shirts from the old shop.
Oh, really?
So I'm going to have to contact them.
We're going to have to call Tom Brady.
Cease and desist.
We got to call Tom Brady's attorney.
Yeah.
So not your fault at all. I'm glad you actually brought it to our attention.
Wow.
Well, good, because you got me on TikTok. I mean, hey, I know I'm not a 15-year-old boy. I'm just keeping track of my kids through TikTok, so you can give me a hard time about that. But
Robin's been doing a lot of TikTok now. I just do TikToks.
I'm not doing any TikTok.
I'm not doing any TikTok either, man.
I'm out on TikTok.
That's right.
So now,
that's right. And I want to give. Go ahead.
Oh no, I want to hear. Go ahead. You want to give a shout out?
Yeah, just the Penguin AZ. I brought him in. He's on the Twitch.
Yes, we follow. He follows us. We talk. He always says, "What up?"
What up, yo? He's right here. He's screaming. He's like having a fit. He loves the show so much, just like me. So
beautiful. Now, are you on Walnut Lane? Where are you guys today? What golf course?
No, we're working in Chandler, Arizona.
Oh, Chandler,
nice.
Arizona.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's the temperature out there? What's the temperature?
I'm a transfer from Texas, so this heat is way better. We're looking at what is it, like 107 today, Tom?
I saw this morning that Canada's experiencing a heat wave. It's like 95 in every city in Canada today. What the hell's going on out there? Those Canadians, man, they're melting. How are they going to play hockey? That takes them out as a hub. You got 95 degrees in Toronto and Montreal and Ottawa.
Yeah, but that gets rid of the corona.
Well, that's true, too, yes.
Oh, you know what? You know that song that Elon Musk, I got it beat. That song is crud, okay? This one I made for Harambe, okay?
You have a Harambe song, your own rendition?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you sing it? Can you sing it a cappella? We don't have any music.
I will make a fool of myself and sing it for all you guys because I love my Twitch guys.
Yes.
And it goes like this. It goes, ha 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 Harambe. Ha 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 Harambe. He died for you and he died for me too, yo. Ha 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 Harambe. He's the Jesus of us gorillas. Ha 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 Harambe.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about
that's way better than Elon Musk crap.
That is awesome.
Seriously.
I got a better gorilla.
It's not even auto-tuned.
I got a better gorilla song, Robin. Can you crank me up here? I'm playing it right now. There we go. Remember this gorilla song, Harry? Classic.
Yeah.
Feels good. Why can't I hear it? There we go.
Oh, we jam out to that one. That's the good stuff. Hey, that guy's from Blur. You know that? Let me give you some knowledge about gorillas. That guy right there, his name's Damon, and he's from Blur. Remember that band?
Yeah. The lead singer of the Gorillaz is from Blur?
Yeah, his name is Damon Albarn.
Wow, that is incredible knowledge, man.
Oh, I'm just like you with the music knowledge, Tony. I'm trying to take after you.
Even Joe C., who's our musical expert on rock and roll and all other kinds of great classic rock, did not know that. Did you know that, Joe?
Yeah.
Were you a Blur fan?
I only know the singles.
I just
some
know
of the
that
singles.
song. Yeah.
It's classic, man. Beautiful, man.
Oh, yeah, man.
Well, so why are you in Chandler if you're not working at Walnut Lane today?
Oh, no. I live in Gilbert. You know,
I love Gilbert, Arizona.
Love in Gilbert, and Chandler's basically the same thing. We're right down the road.
Gilbert adjacent, as we like to say out there.
Exactly.
But it's a dry heat out there. It's a dry heat.
Yeah, you stay in the shade, you're good.
Now, did you install the misters that are everywhere in Arizona? When you go into a bar, like you go down the Mill Avenue, in Tempe, and they got the misters all outside because it's so hot out, but you need some humidity. You need some moisture to cool people off. And just that spritz of the misters that come down on you feels so good. Rob, you know that.
Yes.
You lived in Arizona.
That's right.
Misters, baby.
That's right. It's all about the nozzles, Tony. That's what it's about.
It's all about the nozzles.
And you point them the right way, and woo.
Hey, man, you got any hookups at TPC Scottsdale?
I do. I got hookups
Yeah?
at TPC.
I do it.
I played TPC
That or
Scottsdale.
Troon North would be
I
nice.
played Troon North. I played Talking Stick.
Yeah.
I played TPC.
Just rub it in, Tony. Just rub it in.
Talk about Arizona, man. We're talking about Arizona.
Cocopelli. How about Cocopelli?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Cocopelli.
Hey, I'm your Muni guy, Harry. That's the best I can do for you.
Beautiful.
Love Cocopelli. There's not enough of them. They're not available anywhere in Arizona. That's the only thing about Cocopelli. They're hard to find when you go into every single store in the entire state of Arizona. That and turquoise, right? If you have a turquoise or Cocopelli, you basically could stay in business forever in Arizona.
Forever.
Exactly.
Forever.
All right, well, be careful out there, man.
I will. I love you guys. You guys take care, man.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody's gonna top my Arizona knowledge. Not even Mark Lindsay.
Hit the F and Post 64 says, I'm surprised it took you so long here to ask that question.
Oh, you got to wait for the right time.
You know who can get you on a TPC Scottsdale? Jeremy Roenick, man.
Well, yeah.
Come on, man.
And
Talking
probably
Stick.
Mike Golick, too.
Mike Golick. But I can get anybody on in Arizona. Well, not anybody.
This Cocopelli looks pretty sharp, though, too.
The course or the actual
the course.
the figure?
I don't care about anything.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
You got to have a Cocopelli on your wall if you live in Arizona.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't have a
kind of a
Cocopelli, they
requirement.
pretty much throw you the hell out of the state.
Well, I'm not living
Either
in
that-
Arizona. I'm just flying in for golf.
That and a road runner.
Oh, yeah.
They have those road
Yeah,
runners.
the
all
road
over.
Or a
runners.
coyote on a golf course. I
Yeah.
at 17 at TPC Scottsdale,
Yeah.
Andrew Siciliano and I were playing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a par 3.
Right.
And I stick it on the green. We both stick it on the green, and we get up there, and there's a coyote on the green.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, do we go up there and try to putt for birdie? You don't know. The coyote could come after you.
Right.
Right?
Well, they normally would not unless they
Unless
have
it's
rabies.
rabies. Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
you
I mean, that son of a bitch was sitting up there on the green.
If they- if they start
he was
coming
he
toward
was
you.
walking across my lie.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do?
Now, I have a question. Have you ever been on a golf course down in Florida where there's
course.
a gator?
Alligators, of course, yeah.
What do you do when there's a gator? You just
don't go in. I don't go up and taunt it like JR did.
Yeah.
Roenick. Do you
I
see
know
that
he
video years ago?
You just go over there and you get them from behind, and then you jump on their
Yeah.
back and you hold them right. You get underneath there
Yeah,
and you
right.
hold them over.
You first.
And then you get some duct tape out of your back pocket.
I've never had one, bother
Yeah.
me, though. They just chill.
They do
just
chill.
chill.
And these not even Netflix. They don't even need Netflix.
Right.
Let's go to Trevor up there. Man who's waiting for the gyms to reopen. What up, man?
Not much. Hey, I can get you into Longshore Golf Club in Westport, Connecticut any day of the week. So
Yeah. Is that a good track? Is that a good track?
It's a great golf course. It's where my uncle goes to. It's a very good family golf course. Very nice
Westport's
right
nice. I used to date a girl in Westport.
Really?
Yeah.
How about
My
I can
mom's
get
from
you on
Westport.
Bethpage. I can get you on Bethpage Black, Harry.
Yeah?
Yeah. Not white though. They're not allowed. They won't allow guys like you up.
I don't want to have to sleep in the car, though, in the parking lot, to get on there.
Here, we got an extra guest bedroom available for you. It comes with a bottle of Tito's vodka.
There you
There's
go.
like 3 bottles in there ready for you. So, other than that, June 20th, that's when the gyms are open.
June 20th now?
Yeah, June 20th. That's what I've been told by people of the state. We're supposed to be open by then, but I'm not totally sure. And hopefully we'll get the good old spin class ratios, which we need on the show right now.
You're damn right. I need the ratios. It's all about ratios on the show, Harry. Well, I want to know how many women are in the spin cycle room and soul cycle up there, and I want a ratio male to female. That's important stuff for the sports radio listening audience.
Absolutely. So, and I think that's one thing that we're missing right now. That's why I haven't been calling in. There's not that much spin class ratio. I'm not going to give you the runners, the females to male running ratio on my run right now, because that's not cool at all. So.
I know. You're wearing a mask in Connecticut. Will they come after you if you're not running with a mask?
Yes, I had a Karen confront me yesterday.
Do you have a mask on at this? Do you have a mask on right now? I need to know.
In the car, no, but I have my Philadelphia Eagles one hanging on my rearview mirror right now.
Now, when you're running outside, do you wear a mask?
It depends. I have it in my pocket in case a Karen comes and yells at me.
Okay, Karen.
You know you know how many people you're subjecting to your germs. You realize how many people could be dying right now as you run by them in Connecticut?
A lot. I know, but I tried running it for once. I thought I was going to die. I'm probably going to need those hyperbolic chamber masks that you use for altitude training. I just bought one of those. I'll be using that, so I'll be perfectly socially distanced for everything.
You know, the interesting thing is I wear a mask, but when I have a mask on outside, I feel sick. When I'm walking around, yeah.
Well, yeah, because you're
inhaling your own CO2.
Yeah.
Right.
It's bad for you, man. And by the way, Dr. Fauci, like every day, Dr. Fauci has been doing more backflips than Simone Biles at the stinking Olympics. That guy flips every day, man.
He's doing a better backflip than Jose Batista right now.
Jesus. That guy flips every day, man. What the hell's going on with him?
Yeah. I don't know. It's like the German soccer league line.
All right, man. We got to get out of here.
Thanks, Trevor.
Beautiful, man. Harry, have you been at the Union League at Tarsdale, Harry? You play up there?
Oh, yeah.
How about Juniata? People are giving you all these great golf courses they can get you on.
No, never been to Juniata.
What's the matter with you, man? How about there's a course at K&A that's very active, 24/7.
I've been to Walnut Lane, though.
Yeah, I have, too.
Yeah.
We're coming back. Open phones in the final hour, Harry. We're going to let the people have their say. You call, we talk. Stick around. Tony and Harry.
I need to get me some clubs so that I can actually go out with Tony.
We got an extra bag now. You have a bag.
Yes, I do have a bag that I won.
That was the bag you won, and then Dean was trying to buy it from you.
Dean Loudbags said...
No, Dean in Clearwater wanted the bag that you won.
But Dean Loudbags, he said, forget that. He's going to send me my own with the Tony Bruno logo on it.
Women's bags?
Yes, and so I would have one that sort of, matched your guys.
Dude.
But now I need to get golf clubs.
I'll take you over to Goodwill. We'll spray some down with.
Well, I was going to buy golf clubs, but because I was just going to buy myself a cheap set years ago when I was actually taking some golfing lessons, and then found out because I'm so tall, the most women's regular over the without.
Plus, she's a lefty.
Off the rack.
She's a lefty too, so you got to get different clubs. Yeah. How many chicks are lefties?
You know what though? I don't swing lefty.
You don't?
No.
It's like
I
Phil
swing.
Mickelson.
I'm a lefty,
Phil
but
Mickelson's
I swing right.
a righty, but he swings golf lefty. He's the opposite.
Yeah, I don't throw with my left hand. I throw a ball with my right.
What the hell is wrong with you, Robin?
I don't know. Well, I'm bi, as you know,
exactly.
And ambidextrous. When I was a little girl, I used to tell my mom that I was bi-handed. Little did we know.
You didn't tell you were amphibious, though, at least.
No, I was just somewhat prophetic when I was younger. Who knew?
And now we're just pathetic.
I am amphibious, too, though.
Okay.
I do have gills.
Not Gil Parmalee. Not Gil, what's his name down there? Mike Gill?
Yeah,
Not Mike Gill.
Are you a good swimmer?
Me?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't swim. I mean, I can swim, but I don't.
No?
No.
Is that it's so weird for me to find people that are not real. Yeah, I practically have gills. I actually started swimming before I started walking.
Because in the Netherlands, everybody has to swim or else you drown.
Yes. Everybody's required in the Netherlands to learn how to swim. It is part of your elementary school classes.
And in case the dam and the dikes don't come out and put their finger in it, then you're screwed.
But I learned to swim in the Philippines. My dad taught me at the Elks Club.
Dude, they have Elks Clubs in the Philippines?
Yes, for the hoity-toity part of Manila.
Dude.
My dad is the same way, Miss Robin. See, I think.
Which one?
Big Bill can.
Down the lakes? They're okay.
Welcome back to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on SiriusXM 211.
It is finally happy hour on the program. Final hour of the extravaganza. We got MMA action. We played you the great Iron Mike tape. I still love that thing. Still can't believe Mike Tyson could not rip open.
I can't believe it.
A T-shirt. Dude. I mean, the guy's jacked.
I know.
Plus, he's got the gray beard going.
Mm-hmm.
He's still as badass. You know, Mike Tyson was one of the most hated people on earth back in the day. And now he's like, he walks into any room and everybody wants to stop and see him. Everybody wants to go up and say hi to him.
Now, why do you think that is? Do you think it's because of him, just time in general, and also him being in like movies like The Hangover?
Well, he also, remember, he went to prison.
Well, I know.
And so when a guy goes to prison and he's charged with rape, you know, normally people are like, oh, he's persona non grata forever, evermore. And then he came back and he did his penance and people started respecting him again and liking him. You do the crime, you do the time, then you come out and you hope to get a second chance.
Right.
And then he went out and he was fighting and he was doing a great job and he's just a personable guy. Other than the fact that he kept saying, I want to eat his children to people. Although he didn't do that last night on the AEW ring, though. He should have just yelled, I want to eat his children. I don't think Mike rehearsed that bit that much. You know how he probably said, Mike, you just walk out with an entourage.
Right, give me a T-shirt and I'll rip it off.
Yeah, Chris Jericho will pretend he wants to fight you, and then everybody jumps in and pulls you guys apart because they don't want anything. You know, I don't want somebody actually getting hit accidentally.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It looked like Jericho got a piece of somebody.
Yeah, that was one of the guys he's going to fight anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're the wrestlers who train for that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Now, do you know on this date in sports history what significant event happened in baseball?
In baseball? Oh, wow. I got to think of that one. You had the year?
2006.
2006 on May 28th.
Yep. It was out in the Bay Area.
Was that the Barry Bonds breaks the record day?
Well, not the record, but he passed Babe Ruth.
Oh, okay.
Okay, on this date in
he
2006.
Passed Babe Ruth, and I was out there, as you know, Harry, in California. I was in Southern California, but on the air in Northern California. Barry Bonds, and then there was the debate back then. Once he passed Babe Ruth, would he ever pass
Henry Aaron?
Yeah. And we were actually doing breakdowns with calculators. Let's see, he needs to hit 60 this year, 50 that year, and that's when everybody was hitting 1 million home runs.
Right.
But if they didn't have the steroid era and the juice ball era, I think he would have eventually done it anyway, fair and square.
You think so?
But I think that he did it faster than anybody could have imagined because they were hitting 60 home runs and 70 home runs back then. So when you have to get 100, you're normally saying, well, it's going to take him like 4 or 5 years to do that. Getting 100 back then was taking like 2.5 seasons.
He launched a fourth-inning fastball from Byung-Hung Kim. Remember him?
Absolutely.
Kim?
I knew a guy that was his name, too, but he was in the adult industry. You know what I'm saying?
Over the center field wall for number 715.
715.
Yeah.
Not KFOG. That's a sister station of KNBR 680, the sports leader. And after that night, hit the effing post as Bond's head grew another 2 inches on that date as well. Come on, man. That's just a cheap shot.
I was out there one Labor Day weekend, and we went to see a Raiders game, Raiders and the Chargers. It was the first week of the NFL season, I think in like 2000, 2001. We went to that game, and we saw Bonds hit 2 or 3 home runs in 2 games against the Phillies. We're out there that
weekend. Did he put one in McCovey Cove in a splash hit, man? Oh, man. I love that ballpark. That's a great ballpark.
Great ballpark.
It really is.
Yeah.
Love that place. Meanwhile, we have open lines. 215-462-TONY. We don't normally do this, Harry. But because it's a special Thirsty Thursday, and if you have any memories of Harambe, you'd like to, maybe you have a new song. We played the Harambe song earlier. Memories. Where were you 4 years ago today, Harry, when Harambe took a shot for us and the rest of the world went to hell?
4 years ago was 2016?
Yes.
What time of day was it?
When Harambe got shot? I don't know. We got to get our buddy in Cincinnati to call in. AJ in Cincinnati.
Because I might have been on the air.
When Harambe died? Did you break in regularly scheduled programming?
I doubt
Because that
it.
was breaking news back then. Come on.
I doubt it. Can you imagine the guy that we worked for back then, if I would have broken in with Harambe News and gone away from the Eagles for 5 minutes?
Oh, man. You would have probably had to throw your headsets or something.
I'm telling you.
Or he would have thrown his headsets or whatever. Something from the office. Meanwhile, 215-462-TONY is the number. Yes, Robin.
Hey, Tony, we have breaking news and a major shout-out that we need to give to Jack in the back, who was involved in a hit and run today.
No.
Yeah. He.
Where?
Here.
With his new truck?
With his new truck. Somebody sideswiped him and then took off.
Where is this, in the city of Philadelphia? Or was it in Jersey?
He said it was in Philly. In Philly. And he has one of those big, huge trucks. So
Hey, he's got the side, what do you call that thing?
He's got a crew cab. Like
Yeah,
an
No, when
extended
we open
cab.
the door, we have the
With
little
the
running
suicide,
board.
The running board. Thank you, Harry.
Yeah.
So, because, when they're high up like that, you don't have a running board. You step out, you fall out of that sumbitch.
And he did get hurt, his head, neck, back, and he used to suffer from migraines. He now has it back. He's hoping it's not going to set him back. So, Jack, we're thinking of you.
Oh, be careful out there, man, especially in this
Get
city,
better.
man.
So he's the first call to the doctor or the lawyer?
I think both.
Yeah, both.
We know some good lawyers if you will.
Well, and then, of course, you get involved in it, and now he's afraid to go to the doctor. He's afraid to go to the hospital.
Exactly.
He's going to go to his doctor's office, but he doesn't want to go to the hospital.
Man, you got to stay out of the city, man.
Damn.
You got to stay out of the city. Let's go to a place where everybody feels happy.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
At least when they get there. And then on the plane ride home, everybody's miserable. Let's go to Andy in Las Vegas. Andy, what's going on out there? What's the temperature today, man?
Tony, I got 116 on my dashboard.
Oh,
wow.
man. It's a dry heat, though. Don't forget.
Yeah, it's a dry heat. I get fried egg on the hood.
I can go for a fried egg on the hood right now.
Hey, it's good to hear you, man. Back on, 211 XSM.
XM, Sirius XM, satellite.
And what you hauling? I used to call you and say where I was at, and I'm hauling eggs.
Are you in a rig now, or are you driving a car?
I'm in a rig.
You got an 8? What big? What are you driving? Cat, Peterbilt? What are you hauling right now?
Kenworth.
I got a Freightliner. You want to hear it?
Freightliner, baby. Yeah, let me hear the Freightliner. Oh, that's what I'm talking. That's
pretty good.
Yeah, that's a nice low one.
Yeah,
It's not.
it's the middle of the day and cooked up.
Are you driving on the strip and pulling the horn as you go down the strip?
I don't go down the strip if I can avoid it. I go downtown if I'm going to gamble. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Well, some of the casinos are open in Old Town, right?
They're starting to open, yeah. I got a couple of calls from a hotel saying, come back. We're open.
Now, is Terrible's
But I
open or are they
think
closed
Robert,
now?
You're way, like, the most better three-quarter half of that.
Now, is Tangier still open or are they closed since that horrible incident a few years ago?
Man, I don't even know. I just roll through here. I go from north to south, and I'm just going through.
So you don't live in Las Vegas. You're just driving through Las Vegas.
Yeah, I'm from San Diego, man. I'm headed home.
Oh,
Where the
beautiful.
weather is nice.
Were you able to get a glimpse of the new Raiders stadium?
Yes, I was. I hate them.
Yeah, but the stadium's pretty cool, isn't it?
yeah.
The stadium's cool, but I kind of want to burn it down.
No, come on, man. You can't do that. You're driving.
All right,
You're
well,
keeping America moving, man. You're one of the unsung heroes out there. You're bringing product from San Diego.
I
And I know a
had
lot of
season
friends who bring
tickets,
product
Tony.
up from
I
San
had
Diego.
season
Right.
tickets to the Chargers. I had season tickets for years. I'm not a Raider lover, all right?
Okay, I got you.
I'm not.
You don't have
I'm not a Charger lover either, so.
Well, now
I
that they moved, you're out on the Chargers?
I'm an orphan, man. I need a team.
I remember what Al Davis once said.
We'll be back. The Raiders will be
The
back.
Raiders will be back.
The greatness of the Raiders.
And the greatness of the Raiders. Now, do you have a lightning bolt? Do you have a lightning bolt tattoo anywhere on your body?
No, but I have one on my armrest.
Oh, you got a lightning bolt
nice.
on your armrest?
Yeah, I have my lightning bolt on my armrest. My father got tattoos removed when I was young, and I was there, and it was so painful that I decided I will never get a tattoo.
I remember that when everybody was getting, and then all of a sudden it became cool to get your tattoos removed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then like 5 years later, everybody was getting tattooed. Women, children,
Well, yeah.
old people, young people, infants. Everybody's tatted up.
It's like all the girls in the
I've had my
90s.
pierced by, like, objects and motorcycle accidents and stuff, and I just don't feel like any more pain if I can avoid it.
It's like all the girls in the 90s getting their implants, and then they get them removed 15 years later.
It's an outrage, man.
That's different, man. I love you.
All right, be careful out there, Andy. Thanks for checking. So you're riding empty right now, or what are you hauling right now?
I am hauling some candy down to Rialto. I think they're out of Kit Kat bars.
Oh, break me off a piece, man. Those you gotta have a reefer on for that, though, right? There's no way you're hauling.
Yeah, you gotta keep that cold.
You better have that in the reefer in the back, right? I don't mean reefer in the cab.
Food, frozen, perishable. I'm hauling it all over the USA. I haven't been home in about 2.5 months.
Big Thermo
Well,
King.
we thank you.
Thermo King. What kind of refrigerated unit you have back there on that Freightliner?
What kind of refrigerator I got a Wabash trailer, man.
Wabash trailer.
That's great stuff.
I got a Wabash trailer with a carrier reefer, and I am hauling candy bars.
Oh, man. Can you drop some off to Robin? So me too. I love Kit
They're
Kats.
not. I love them.
I
but
can't
they're
eat
not,
it.
You know what? I left some in the Philly Freightliner there. It's actually in Delaware, but they call it the Philly Freightliner, and I left my truck there, and I ain't seen it since. They might still be there. Go check it out.
Yeah, I'm going to head to Delaware this weekend.
Wow.
All right.
Rialto, California.
Give us one more goodbye.
Goodbye. I love you.
No,
give me one more blast,
one more
man.
blast.
Oh, you mean goodbye?
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, be careful out there, Andy.
Rialto is in between Fontana, where they race. Don't they have the
Or they call
racetrack?
it Fontucky out there.
Oh,
yes, they do.
and San Bernardino.
San Bernardino. That's out there in the high desert, man.
Yeah, man.
That's where that's Robin's family out there. San Bernardino
It's
area,
not far
right?
from that Loma Linda.
Well, Redlands,
Ontario. Yeah,
isn't that in the same area,
It's
Robin?
kind of, I think.
It's more north.
Jeez, Robin. On the Grapevine. Have you been on the Grapevine out there?
No,
huh?
I have not.
Jesus. I'm worried about Jack now, man.
I know.
Our good buddy Jack in the back.
He should not wait to go to the doctor in case there's something wrong. If he has a headache, a really bad headache, just don't go to a hospital in downtown Philly. Go in the outskirts somewhere, and people are saying that hospitals are empty.
Mm-hmm.
Emergency rooms are empty. They're fine. It's safe. Go.
Well, not around here. Not on weekends.
No,
They're pretty
that's what
full up around here, man.
That's why I say don't go here. Go closer to where he lives, and it'll be fine. Don't wait until tomorrow to go to the doctor.
He's rolling hard on I-15, Harry, out there through Vegas all the way down to San Diego. God, I love talking to truckers, man.
I know.
Wonder if the lot lizard quotient is down.
I'm sure it is.
I'm sure it is.
When you're,
I mean, how do you socially distance with a lot
Although-
lizard?
You really can't.
I mean, it's
Although,
impossible.
It might be in their favor to have the mask on. You know?
I see where you're going with that.
Wait, the guy has the mask on or the lot lizard?
Both? Maybe?
I don't know if you can do that with a lot lizard. It depends on what you're doing. How much do you get for $50?
I mean, at least.
How about $5?
Probably more in Nevada than you do in California.
Comb the desert. More of your calls coming up next. Plus, we will have the MMA update, which we got to get to. And Robin will have a very special MMA update as well. That's all still ahead. 215-462-TONY. 215-462-8669. Tony and Harry, Miss Robin, the whole gang having fun on a thirsty Thursday, yo.
Hand wash. I haven't heard back since the last thing that he sent. Man. I should, you know what? I'm going to, Ruth.
Why? Yeah. I didn't want to. It was for my old job.
You lived in Detroit?
Yeah, for a couple months.
No, I like Detroit.
It's like right by
I had great times in Detroit. Super Bowls.
I've never been.
I've been to Pontiac. I was at that Pontiac Super Bowl, the Frozen Bowl. That was the first time they ever played in a cold weather city, but it was a dome.
That city.
The Pontiac Superdome.
Comerica Park, right? That's where the
Yeah.
Tigers play. That area, you talk about an apocalypse. That place looks like
Oh, yeah.
24/7. It's crazy. Nice city.
One of my favorite Super Bowls was the one in Detroit. Not the Pontiac one, but the one downtown.
Steelers and the Seahawks.
Yep.
Joy Binoco said, the field is mowed, Tony. The Twitch feed worked great from my tractor. Beautiful, man.
Beautiful.
How awesome is that? You can take us everywhere.
Exactly right.
For $50, you get somebody with teeth. It's from Larry.
So the Delaware governor, pleased with the Memorial Day weekend, is going to move forward with reopening plans.
And the Boston Marathon has been called off for the first time in race history, Tony Bruno.
That's next year. Oh, so they pushed it back from earlier in April when they normally do it. They do it on Patriots Day.
But now it's been called off completely.
Completely.
But did you see this? 64 consecutive hours of Derek Jeter programming.
I know. Yeah, why are they I mean, I know people have to travel from all over the world. That's the thing about the Boston Marathon.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like a parade with people all along the sidewalks.
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
It's like,
but when did they move it ahead to before they just canceled it? September? I know it's April.
Yeah, it's September 14th.
So they moved it to September 14th, and now they've called it off. Okay.
It's always Patriots Day or something.
Yeah,
right?
that's when they have it, early in the season. Yeah.
What is it? Oh.
Started in 1897, and it's the first time it's ever been canceled in its 124-year history.
It's an outrage. The Sarnea brothers will still be remembered vividly on that.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that night, man, when they caught that guy in the boat hiding in the yard, some backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the two brothers who did that, one got shot, they gunned him down. The other kid was hiding in a boat in somebody's backyard underneath the tarp.
And my mom was supposed to be there, remember? She qualified for that race, and then a bunch of her friends went instead. I forget exactly why she canceled it. But she was supposed to be at that one.
Welcome back to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on SiriusXM 211.
Tony and Harry having fun again. Has there been one show, Harry, that we've been on now for the last couple of months where we haven't had fun?
No, we're nearing the end of our 8th week, and I can't recall one show.
No, I mean, that's the purpose of this. Even in these tough times, you got to enjoy life every day. There's a lot of bad stuff going on. We try to be positive. Look at Bob Nightengale. Guy's positive. He knows baseball's coming back. You know what I'm saying?
Minus 500, Tony. It's pretty significant.
Yeah.
You know?
If I had $500, I'd bet it to win 100, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would.
Is that a good bet?
Well, I think they're going to play.
No, they're going to play. They have to play. Let's go back to the phone, shall we? Go down to Florida, where Brad is hanging out. Brad, where are you in Florida?
What's going on, guys? How you doing today?
Good, man. Where are you in Florida? What part?
I live in Clearwater.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Do you know Dean?
I knew you were going to say that.
I've heard of him, but I never.
No,
met
you don't
him.
want to
Not
see him.
before.
If you see him,
stay away.
Stay the hell away, man. He's bad news.
Well, sounds like somebody I want to meet.
No, he's a good dude. He's a good dude.
What's going on down there?
What's going on, guys? How you been today?
Beautiful, man. Now, are the beaches packed? Is there? Because I know Florida, everybody was ripping it for years, but for weeks and weeks and weeks. Is anybody afraid to go on the beach down anymore, or is it packed down there?
No, you know Florida. Florida is what you see on the news. I came from up north. I'm from actually the Pennsylvania area, and I grew up in Jersey, moved to Pennsylvania, my parents, blah blah blah. But the beaches down here, everybody's still packing them up. Everybody's still getting drunk. Everybody's still having a good time. It's still the same old, same old.
That's the best. That's what I miss that so much. I mean, that's great.
Such a great place.
I want to be there right now. What are all those souvenir stores? They all have one name down there. You know, where they sell all the beach blankets and And
Is that like the Beals or whatever?
No, it's not a supermarket. It's just one of those beach stores. And there's a ton of them down there along Clearwater, and they're all the same name. Can't think of.
It'll be like $20 and nothing or something.
Yeah,
like
but
that.
they
I
have
know what
the
you're
name of the store is consistent because it's a chain and they have a whole bunch of them. Somebody will do it. Not the 5 and 10. It's an actual name. But don't worry about it right now. So now, you know the difference. You've been to Jersey. You go down on the beach in Clearwater, St. Petersburg. The sand is nice. I mean, you can find a place to talk down there. You can get yourself fed.
You can't beat it, man. You find a place to park. You bring your old lady down there.
Exactly.
You post up. You have a couple drinks on the boardwalk. You go down to the beach, lay down there for a little bit.
You get a grouper sandwich. You get a grouper sandwich right there, man.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Oh man.
Have you seen Tom Brady practicing in any football fields?
I actually work in Tampa. I almost skipped out the other day when I heard he was practicing around the corner at that high school place.
Mm-hmm.
But I bailed. My coworkers gave me shit.
Were you going to go over and give him the business for sucking at golf in the first 6 holes?
Well, dude, I'm a Jets fan.
Oh, okay. Then you did give him the business.
Wow.
He didn't even have to suck at golf for you to give him the business.
Yeah, no, I was going to give the business to the Jets fan. Yeah.
Hey, Brad, I'm sorry.
What?
Hey, he's a Jets fan.
Oh, okay.
My apologies.
I'm 32 years old, and the closest I've been was the Steelers and the Colts, and I almost killed myself after both of those games.
Wow.
I was in college.
That was the Mark Sanchez years, right?
The butt fumble?
Yep. Yep. That was the butt fumble. No, butt fumble happened 2 years after that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Colts game, it was the Colts and the Steelers. I believe it was back-to-back AFC championships, the Rex.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Dean had the correct answer. Wings is the name of the place.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And there's another one. And there's another one
yeah.
called Beach Zone. But you see all these places, Wings, not the TV show Wings. Remember that back in the day?
I love that
Or
show.
the band Wings.
Or the band
I love
Wings.
that
Paul
show.
McCartney.
From Family Guy. Wings. You're talking about Wings?
Oh, man, you're bringing back. Well, see, somebody calls from Vegas. I have memories. Somebody calls from Clearwater and Florida in general. Because, I mean, I've been to Florida.
My boy called me to listen to you guys today. My buddy Ryan Bowman, he goes, Brad, listen to these guys today. And I go, all right, I'll listen to these guys. So I'm listening to you talk, and then you're bringing up Harambe, and it brought back some sad memories,
Now, where were you 4 years ago today when Harambe took a shot for you to save the world?
I was in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and I was blowing one of them old Oktoberfest horns, going.
In May? Wait, on May 28th, you were blowing an Oktoberfest horn?
I was.
Or was that a Vuvuzela?
They did an early Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest in May? I know about Christmas in July. Who the hell does Oktoberfest in May?
It's Bethlehem.
I don't know. The Steel Stacks did.
Yeah. The Steel Stacks.
I was up there and I did that.
I love Steel Stacks.
And then it reminded me when I was at a bar when Michael Jackson died. I was sitting there getting drunk, and then I heard Michael Jackson die, and I go, I don't care.
You know who else died that same day?
The day Michael Jackson died?
Yes.
Who?
Farrah Fawcett.
Not the same year? The same exact day?
Same exact day. Nobody ever remembers.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
You want to hear? Yeah, listen to this. My dad got remarried on the day Derek Jeter hit the walk-off home run. Or not the walk-off, the last home run of the year, the Grand Slam.
Wow. Do you know that ESPN's running?
I'm a big Yankee fan.
You know that ESPN is running how many hours of Derek Jeter?
64, I think.
64 hours of Derek Jeter. I'll watch some of it. I want to see when he takes
It's not ESPN. It's MLB Network.
I'm sorry, MLB Network.
Okay.
I want to see where he takes the chicks back up to his place and gives them lovely parting gifts the next morning when they leave and do the walk of shame.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to see.
What kind of chocolate you think he gives them?
How many?
What kind of chocolate you think he gives them?
I don't know. Whatever he was giving them, man, they left happy. You notice they never came after none of those women.
No.
They didn't come after him and sue him and say, "Oh my God!"
And look at that. And you look at today, and a guy sleeps. He sleeps around with one or two women. You know everything about it. Back in the day, he went through everybody. He went Alba,
TMZ had
Mariah.
no sources for any of the Jeter's romps.
Look at. Remember when he was in San Francisco and the back of his car was broken into and they stole all
No,
that?
you're thinking of A-Rod, Robin.
Yeah, that's A-Rod.
That's
Oh,
A-Rod.
that's A-Rod.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
A-Rod's a jag-off.
A-Rod wanted
Derek
people.
Jeter.
That's right.
A-Rod wanted people to
A-Rod
find out
wanted
who he was banging.
Yeah. A-Rod.
Wrong guy.
Bro, come on, Rod. I got to give Rod one of
Oh,
those right now. I'm
I
sorry. Wait a
finally
minute,
get
man.
one today.
That's right. That's your first. You never forget your first of the day. No, I mean, Derek Jeter, nobody banged more groupies, and nobody knew about it. This guy is in 2 Halls of Fame. The Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, and in the Groupie Hall of Fame, man. Nobody did it better.
And he winds up with the DirecTV genie.
Exactly right. That's phenomenal knowledge
after all that, after all this conquest, he goes, you know what? This DirecTV genie, he was probably sitting on his couch one night, just, like us, just having some beers, just watching some sports, and he goes, sees this DirecTV genie, he goes, you know what? I'm going to make that bitch my wife.
Exactly. Wow. Brilliant stuff, Brad. That's a great call. If I could rack calls like my buddy Jim Rome does, you would be racked today. You'd be in the running for a huge call of the day.
We don't have a smack off. We might have a jack off.
Well, yeah, we have a lot of those.
I have a note to myself that we need to start doing the jack off segment.
I think Brad's in.
Yeah.
Brad, I think he's going to qualify.
Brad, you're in the hopper.
If I'm in, I'll call regularly. I could be a regular caller for you guys.
But not every day, though. Not every day.
Now I want to know you like fucking the guys that call.
Whoa.
Oh, sorry.
No profanity here, man. Come on, relax.
I apologize.
Take it easy.
That's quite all right, but just so that everybody knows, if you swear, it requires more work on our part because we have to edit it out before we send it off.
I understand. I'm sorry, guys.
All right, man. We just took you out of the hopper.
Maybe he's not in.
I just took you out of the hopper.
You were in, and now you're out.
Right. All right, man. Thanks for the call.
Sound like Kenny Powers. I'm in, you're out.
Goodness gracious!
Even Susan Waldman screaming, "Goodness gracious!" after that.
Brad in Clearwater. Let's go to Brad.
Let's go to another friend of the show, the great Steve in Detroit.
Oh, Ryan Peach, the friend who recommended him, says he embarrassed me.
Yeah. See what I mean?
Steve, what the hell's going on? How did Detroit not riot last night? What's wrong with you people there, man?
Riot about what? What were we supposed to riot about?
Well, there was 3 other cities that people were going crazy. Obviously, Minnesota and the situation there
George
with that
Floyd.
with that cop.
It's terrible.
I mean, if that cop's going to go to jail forever, they're not going to string him up. There's no death penalty. That guy goes to jail.
I think all 4 of them should go to jail.
Yeah, but the guy with the knee on the neck, that guy's a murderer flat out.
Totally.
The other people stood around and did nothing.
Well, they did nothing.
They did nothing, too. They're complicit. But the one guy is definitely first-degree murder without any question. You don't need to be any judge. Any crappy judge on earth can see that evidence and say, done deal.
Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. He's going to jail for a long time.
And he should. That stuff is unacceptable. But rioting is unacceptable, too. I'm sorry. You can protest. But when you start burning down buildings and companies and targets and auto zones and all that other stuff, man, that's just gone too far.
Hey, Robin, are you still mad at me? Are we good? Are we all lovey-dovey?
Was I mad at you? I don't remember being mad at you.
Well, AJ from San Antonio blocked me because I said the magic word to him. So
you blocked him on Twitter. He blocked you on Twitter or here?
No, he blocked me on Twitch because I told him he spends more money on the Trump campaign than he does on you and the Amazon.
Now, come on now, man. See, we don't do that political crap.
We don't do
here.
political stuff.
I've never sent a dime to any politician. And you know on the tax returns?
Not you, AJ does.
You know on the tax returns where it says, would you like to contribute $3 to the presidential fund? Hell no.
Yeah, why?
Why? It's not even your money.
I'm already sending you my taxes.
Exactly. Why would anybody send $3 to the government for the, quote, presidential fund? Where the hell does that money go?
Oh, I'd love to know that. Where does all the money go?
And how can he block you on Twitch? He
blocked me.
How can he block? Can AJ in San Antonio block somebody on Twitch? He's not a moderator.
No.
He said he blocked me.
I will have to ask him why. I don't know. I will find out for you, though.
By the way, people are now taking gratuitous cheap shots at the Great Motor City on Twitch. Like, is there anything left in Detroit to burn? Now, come on, man. That's just not. That's wrong, man. Jeez. That's wrong, man. And how about this one from Big Bill Kennedy who says, they're too poor to riot in Detroit.
Oh, that's awful.
Come on, man.
See what happens when the Red Wings suck?
Yeah, when the Red Wings suck. This is when Hockey Town goes to Crappy Town.
Right.
Not Funky Town. That's good.
Yeah. The only good thing we had was the Lions draft picks. And I got to tell you, they stole DeAndre Swift from the Philadelphia Eagles. They let that hometown kid walk. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, how did the Eagles – his dad's got a private jet not far from where you live, Tony.
I know. I'm going to go to Harry Mays for that. Harry, why did the Eagles not make that selection?
Not make whose selection?
Swift. The Eagles could have taken Swift.
He's a hometown kid.
Oh, the
His
running
dad's got a
back
private
from
gym.
Georgia? No, they're not going to take a running back there. They're fine at
No,
running back.
you're right. That's
Maybe
too early, man.
they get a veteran, but they're not going to draft him.
They don't even want Shady McCoy back, and he's begging to come back here. And especially with the restaurant, restaurants closed, he had a great opportunity not to have to worry about tipping right now.
I like the
nobody
Lions
does.
over 6.5 wins, though.
I like the Lions over 6.5 wins, too.
Yeah, me too. I like him at 7, though.
Yeah.
Now,
We got a good team.
Now, is Sid Gold's Pawn Shop still open in Detroit? Hardcore Pawn, one of my favorite shows?
It's still there. Yep, it's still there.
What are you hawking these days if you're going in there now? Are you there to buy?
Jewelry.
Are you ready to? No, what's the line? Are you here to? Or you want to put it on? You want to sell or pawn it? Right? Aren't there two choices?
I've never done anything at a pawn shop.
You never did a pawn shop?
No.
Aaron? Come on.
A porn shop?
Porn shops, yeah.
Pawn shop.
Pawn shop's different. Pawn shop is they ask you, do you want to pawn it or do you want to sell it?
But see, like the casinos in Windsor are closed right now. Right?
Yeah, you
so
can't
the
go
pawn
over.
shops.
Can you go over?
they're
You can't go.
opening- No, they're opening Friday.
Oh, they are?
No, they're
So
opening
you
Friday.
can't go over
That's
the
breaking
bridge into
news.
Windsor? Wait, you can't go over the bridge? I thought you weren't allowed to go into Canada from the United States.
I am, but I don't know about. They're going to open the casinos in Detroit on Friday. They're going to have a short opening, and then they're going to open them up. And so
Because back in the
They lost
day,
a
you
lot
used
of
to
money.
have to go into Windsor. That's where the gambling was,
Yeah.
and that's in Canada.
Right.
And
Yeah,
now they
my
have
dad
casinos
won.
in Detroit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I loved it.
Is the RoboCop statue still standing, or is it down?
No, it's ready for you when you want it. It's done.
We have the. I'll
This
trade
thing
you
is
the
done.
Rockies. How about
This is-
this? I'll trade you the Rocky statue for the RoboCop statue. I'll go down to the
a
art
done
museum.
deal.
I'll
A
put
done
a.
deal.
You know what
You
I'll do?
want it?
I'll
It's
put a
yours.
rope. I'll put a rope around the Rocky and then attach it to Jack's dented pickup truck. Jack in the back. We'll pull that statue down, sort of like they did with
Kate Smith.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
I'll trade you the Rocky statue for the RoboCop
You would
statue.
never be allowed
You
back in
guys, they were
Philadelphia.
going to put that in front of the police station, and the chief said no. I don't want that thing in front of it.
They
Put
need
it
to
at the
have it.
Science Center.
There should be a RoboCop statue in front of in every intersection in Detroit and Philadelphia.
I
Tony,
agree.
you would never be
I
allowed back
agree.
in Philadelphia.
Tony,
Yeah.
when do you want it delivered? Do you want it delivered in your house or in your backyard?
The RoboCop statue?
Can we just put it right out front?
Yeah, I have it right in front of the
You can
house.
put it right next to that
don't have
boxer
a
right out
backyard?
here.
Yeah, we'll put it right next to the Joey Giardello statue, right around the
All
corner
right.
from us here, man.
No,
I thought
actually,
you had a backyard, but all right, we'll put it in the front.
no. We can't call our backyard a backyard. It's not big enough to be called a
I
yard.
call it the garden. It's a garden.
Hey, you want the statue? It's delivered. It's done. You can put it right in the middle of the street.
All right, I'll throw in the Kate Smith statue if I can find it.
No, I'll take the Rocky statue.
No,
and
you
some,
can't give
free
away
pizza.
the Rocky
you can't give
statue.
away the Rocky statue.
Why not?
Because
People love it.
So I
It's
still own it.
iconic.
They won't know. It'll be missing in the middle of the night, like the Kate Smith statue.
between you wearing
No,
a
I
Michael
still own
Irvin
the statue.
Cowboys jersey and getting rid of the Rocky statue, you might as well move out of the country.
That is the plan.
The Nick Foles statue is still under construction right now, so we can't do anything with that yet. Except
you
have
guys are
another.
still missing Nick Foles. It's not even. I mean, every Philly fan wants Nick Foles back.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
I thought Nick Foles had a statue with the.
He does
the
with
Philly-
Doug
the Philly-
Peterson.
You
Yeah.
want Matt Stafford instead?
Wait, Nick Foles has a statue already?
Yeah, with Doug Peterson.
Yeah, Budweiser made
Yeah,
it.
with Doug Peterson. Yeah.
It's right outside the link where they're calling the play.
Yeah.
They're on the sideline and
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, is there like a Bud? Are they holding a Bud Light can doing Philly?
No.
Dude, I missed that one.
No, I think Lane Johnson's behind him chugging one.
All right, Steve, we still love you, man. I know you hate on me all the time. You hate
No, I
on.
don't hate on you, Tony. No, it's all love. It's all love.
All right, man. You know,
I got
it's all
blocked
about
on
love.
Twitch by AJ.
It's
Crazy.
all about love on the Twitch stream. It's all about love on Twitter at Tony Bruno Show, at Harry Mays,
Absolutely.
at Harry Mays TU. He got rid of the underscore, thankfully. At Miss Robin Austin.
What was your Twitch handle again?
SFalcon39.
Yeah,
Come on, Robin.
see you. I see you on there all the time.
He's always on there.
So I don't see how
But
it was
AJ
blocked.
blocked me. He blocked me.
I don't know because I see it. So there's no way it was blocked.
He blocked me, so I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know, guys.
I don't like this,
I
man.
have no idea.
We don't want any of this. We want tranquility base here.
It might have been a temporary blockage.
That happens.
You have to go to the hospital for that. Temporary obstruction.
Yeah, that hurts sometimes, man. All right, man.
When do you want the RoboCop? When do you want me to send
anytime
that?
you want to bring it to Philly, I'll gladly accept it. You
Okay,
put that.
We'll put it right in front yard.
You put it in front of my house. Ain't nobody coming near here. I'll get that. Love RoboCop, man.
Jesus.
We need a real RoboCop right now.
Yeah.
We've never needed RoboCop more than right now. What's Peter Weller doing? He's like 80 years old now, right? Isn't he still doing Wasn't he the original?
He was the original guy, yeah.
Is he still? I think he's still doing stuff.
He only
Peter
did
Weller.
1 and 2. The third one's a different guy.
Yeah, I know. And then they did
There
a
were
reboot.
3 of them?
Yeah.
No, and then they just did a new one a couple years ago. Like 2 years ago. But that's never on TV. The original 3 are always on, but they don't put the most recent one on. It's an outrage, man. This country needs RoboCops everywhere, Harry. I mean, we got all these we got all these robotic things now. We got drones checking in on us. I'm not going to put that. The Rizzo statue is going to come down soon. You know that, right?
Where is that?
It's in Center City, right in front of the Municipal Services Building.
Oh, I didn't know.
They've been trying to take that down for a couple of years. That'll come down soon, too. We got to get all these dangerous statues out of our way, Harry.
Well, you talked about the 64 episodes of Jeter on MLB. You know, there's
64 games?
64
different games.
Hours or days.
64 hours.
64
okay.
hours.
So how many games is that? Did
Well,
they break it down?
if it's just Yankees Red Sox, that might only be like 5 games. You know? But there's a Tiger Woods documentary in the works with HBO. Did you know that?
Yeah.
And
how many Perkins Pancakes episodes will there be? With Tiger's in there checking out that lovely 35-year-old housewife working hard for him.
Man.
Gives him an extra order of bacon on the side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they're saying that it's probably going to air right around the time of the Masters in November. So perfect timing.
Oh, man, we're going to have so much sports. Although the other big story breaking today, the Boston Marathon.
Yeah.
It is a final. For the first time in its history, going back to 1897, they will not run it. Of course, earlier this year, of course, in April, on every year where they do it, which is on Patriots Day. Usually that doubleheader, the Red Sox play baseball.
In the morning.
And then the Boston Marathon occurs. People from all over the world.
And they postponed it to September.
Right. And now today, they said that's it. The race is done. One of the world's most prestigious and obviously probably the most famous marathon on earth.
I would think so.
There's a lot of them all over the world. And you would think Boston, because it's the oldest, certainly, 124 years old, but it's the one that everybody has to – you have to qualify.
You have to qualify.
Yeah. It's not like these ridiculous Broad Street runs where anybody can go out
anybody
there.
Right.
You got $20 here, run. Here's a stick
here's
and
a
sticker.
T-shirt.
Slap this thing on your chest. Put a bulletproof vest on when you run through some areas, and then go run your ass out there, and we'll give you a bottle of soda or something.
Years and years to qualify for the Boston Marathon, so it's a huge deal
It's
when
like
they
the
actually
Schifoso half marathon.
We'll give you a bottle of soda, but you got to pay the tax on it.
Right.
The soda's free, but you're going to have to pay the soda tax.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who worked really hard to get qualified for this, and they're going to be quite upset that they.
No, again, you know what? But and people are saying, why do it now when it's still May? Why are you doing? Because people make plans.
Yeah, people
way in advance.
Travel from all over the world.
Right, they're booking the flight all over, and obviously there's still travel restrictions. So, and the front runners are always people from
Kenya.
Yeah,
they're the best.
And those they wouldn't be able to come over here. So.
Maybe an American will win it.
That would be a first.
Well,
in a long
Americans
time.
have won it, but obviously the most dominant runners, especially in men, are from Kenya. The African guys, they're amazing. I can't even drive 26 miles as fast as they can run it, man. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's take a break. We got to do these MMA updates, Harry. And Robin's got the best MMA update of the year, I think. And it has nothing to do with the octagon.
Yeah, it's not even in this country.
But there is an octagon.
Yeah, of sorts.
Yes, but
And
there will be
there
no
is
bloodline.
MMA.
And there is MMA action in the octagon. We will tell you exactly what that is. And now, I don't know what's happening on social media today. Something's gone crazy. People are going crazy, Harry. That's why we're here to calm everybody down. So stick around. Much more still ahead. More of your calls. 215-462-TONY. Open Phones America. 215-462-8669. We're coming right back.
Yeah, I don't know what Steve is talking about because I just checked. He's not blocked. So that was fake news.
It was fake news. We may have to have him blocked from social media. Can I get Jack on the phone? Get Jack Dorsey on the line.
That's totally fake news. Yeah, I'm like, what? What are you talking about, Steve? You've been smoking something? I think he's just trying to get people to get all riled up on AJ. Because people, not just here, but on Twitter, the Dockside Donkey Show. Dockside Donkey Show, if you're listening, fake news.
Is that happening now? There's another target, a super target being looted
I don't know.
in Minnesota? This is from 2 hours ago.
God, it's just nuts.
We have NASCAR action tonight.
No, it was. Did they postpone it
Yeah,
last night?
It got postponed because of rain, so they're going to do it tonight at 7 o'clock. Oh, yeah, in Korea? South Korea? They're like the third best team in the league.
And they're playing some schlubs.
Yeah.
They go, it was 1-1.5. They get a red card at like the 58th minute, so they're playing down a man.
Mm-hmm.
They score, make it 2-1, so they're up 1, still down a man. Give up a goal in the 89th minute, tied 2-2. It was 45-177.
Wow. Yeah, it's München, Dortmund, Leipzig, and then Leverkusen. Yeah.
I thought Bayern Munich was leading when they came back, but they're not anymore, right?
No, they're leading.
Okay.
Yeah, they beat Dortmund 1-0. 1-0. It was a great game. I watched it.
You can now place bets on the NHL, the games that are like the playing rounds.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah.
Eunice is fired up about tomorrow, man.
We haven't talked to him in forever.
I know.
Frank Pizza.
So there's more looting going on today. Look at this. People just grabbing clothes, throwing it in their car. They're just parking the car right in front of the Super Walmart.
That
Just park the car out front. We'll be right out. Look at it.
That does not say speak protesting at all.
A lot of the people aren't even wearing masks. The same dude keeps walking out with nothing but armfuls of clothes.
Hey, did you know that Target follows you?
Follows me?
Yeah. I just
Well, they invite me in to go in and grab a bunch of stuff like supermarket sweep, and you just go around with a cart and you start filling up your cart.
We have a live broadcast.
How many can you grab? What do you go for first? The hams? What do you know, any of those supermarket sweep shows?
There's a video of a white lady running out with like 2 lamps. They're like, well, I guarantee CNN's not going to show this clip like on tonight's program.
But on those supermarket sweep shows, you know, like, what do you go in and what do you grab first, Robin, when you go in, if you had like 2 minutes to
if
go
it's
to
a grocery store?
A supermarket, yes.
Yeah, supermarket. You go like the
You got to go to the meats.
meats and cheeses. Those are the most expensive things, right?
Meats and cheeses, baby.
Welcome back to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on SiriusXM 211.
Oh, man. Well, Harry, covering pretty much everything that needs to be covered. EPL coming back June 17th on a Wednesday. The USC quarterback, I guess ex-quarterback.
He's transferring to Georgia.
JT Daniels heading down to the Bulldogs with Kirby Smart, and Jamie Newman is the quarterback there. Does he beat him out, huh?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
That's why I asked the question.
I'm not sure.
Now, of course, the other story.
Does he have to sit out a year?
No, he's in the transfer portal.
Oh, okay, but that's still.
I don't think you sit out in the transfer portal. We talked to Dick Vitale about that, about college basketball players. I think it's the same thing. You get that opportunity where you transfer because of the coaches. Coaches can go and they don't have to sit out a year.
Well, I mean, he's still going to be dealing with, because of the pandemic, less time to get familiar with the playbook at Georgia and the system
no doubt.
and all that.
But I'm saying he's out. He is going to Georgia because a lot of teams had an opportunity to grab him, and the Georgia Bulldogs said, we'll take you. But the other story, Anderson Silva is one of the greatest MMA fighters. Some people think the greatest MMA fighter of all time from Brazil. You remember him?
Yes.
Back in the day. So he calls out, and not in a nasty way, he calls out Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor actually said the other day on social media that Anderson Silva is the greatest fighter in MMA history. Silva's been around. He's Brazilian. He's an icon. And now Conor McGregor comes back and says yes. So they're talking about a super fight between Conor McGregor and Anderson Silva. Now, Silva's on the back end of his career, obviously. He had knee surgery. He's incredible. He's 1-6 in his last 7 fights. But he's still one of those legendary figures. And the one thing about McGregor, say what you will, he's not afraid of anybody.
No,
He'll take on anybody.
And he's a draw, no matter what.
And so, in the world where we're looking for stuff, would you go to see this? Would you pay to see this? It
Probably
would be part
not.
of a card, though.
Probably not.
And that's the biggest question.
I mean, is this like Mayweather-Pacquiao when they finally got the fight? It was 5 years too late?
Well, no, I think the difference between that is that everybody wanted it. Nobody's been calling for Anderson Silva.
No, I know, but I'm
and
just
Conor
saying,
McGregor.
like, I watched the Pacquiao-Mayweather
I did
fight.
too.
I went
and you're
to,
right. It came like 4 or 5 years too late.
Yeah.
Because they can't agree to terms. One side says, I want this. The other side says, I want that. And they finally do the fight too late. But I think in this situation, if they do it, but the disadvantages McGregor has. First of all, McGregor would have to get up to 176.
Wow.
And the other dude, Anderson Silva, is a big guy. He would have to lose weight to get down to 176. And they can make weight at 176, and they'll put on 20 pounds for the fight night. And he's got a 5-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach advantage. So, and he's got unbelievable moves. McGregor's more of a brawler. Anderson Silva was an MMA artist. And so, I don't know. That's a good question, and I think people will finally find out if they agree to do this. But even if you're not an MMA icon, Harry.
He's 45 years old.
Yes,
Wow.
Silva's, Anderson Silva's old. How old is Conor McGregor now? 5?
Not
34?
Sure.
He's got to be around that age. But there's no doubt. 31.
31, yeah.
And so he's still amazing. And let's be honest, he's the biggest draw.
He'll be
in
32
MMA.
in mid-July.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm throwing out there because I saw it. Instead of guys talking trash, they were giving each other like mutual love on social media. So they want this to happen. Is it going to happen? I don't know, but it's interesting. But there's a better place if you want to go, even if you're not an MMA guy, even if your ground game is not strong, Harry.
Right.
Even if you've never done a ground and pound, even if you haven't been able to go high and swipe the guy with your leg and knock his teeth out, you can go to Brazil, Harry, if you want to go down there. In fact, let's go to Brazil, where Miss Robin has a, boy, why didn't I think of this idea? Update, and your correspondent, Miss Robin.
That's right, folks. If you are an MMA fan and maybe you and your lady are both fans, you can go down to Brazil. And this is not just a regular hotel, Tony. This is a sex hotel, has unveiled the MMA themed suite.
There's an MMA themed suite in a sex hotel in Brazil.
And they want the biggest no pun intended, MMA fans to come and enjoy. Come on down. And if you wish, with you and your significant other, we're the center of attention in the octagon.
So they have an octagon
Yes.
bed in the middle of the suite.
Well, it's like
Correct.
a circular bed in the middle of an octagon
Correct.
type.
Oh, that's
ring.
awesome.
So there's the cage, and then there's training dummies and mannequins that will watch you as you roll and attempt your best rear naked choke.
But are they socially distanced mannequins?
Hell no. This is Brazil,
no.
man.
No.
You think this
So-
is wimpy United States?
I don't
Everything
even think-
goes in Brazil.
I don't even think Brazil acknowledged the coronavirus at all, to be honest.
No, they've been
with
hard
you.
hit, too. They've been hard hit.
They with an this is translated, so it doesn't sound quite right in English, but with an octagon-inspired environment, the suite brings the bed as the main place of the couple's fight. Table for meal, erotic toys, and more. Surprise your partner and live an adventure at Groupie Inn.
Hi, puppy.
Ground and pound.
You
think
gra-
Rex Ryan might have
You
interest
get your
in
ground
this?
and pound. You talk about
Yes.
ground and pound for real here, Harry.
Jeez.
That is awesome.
Now, my question is, what other types of suites do they have other than the MMA, since this is a whole sex hotel?
Why don't you call them off when the
Shouldn't we
show's
find
over?
out?
We'll get our friend Homemade Delish, who's Brazilian. She can translate. We'll do. Maybe we should do this tomorrow.
They speak Portuguese.
I know
don't
she
they?
speaks
Yeah,
Portuguese.
yeah.
Exactly. There is no Brazilian. I said Brazilian. She speaks
Right.
Portuguese.
Right.
Which is what they do there, as you know, Harry. Would you go there? Say we gave away a prize. We could maybe hook up one of our listeners.
Yeah.
With a weekend. And it's funny. It sounds like groupie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let them.
But
go.
it's
I'll
it's
stay home.
groupie.
Groupie Inn.
The Groupie Inn. Joe Rogan will not be there for this one. What are some of the other moves
It's
that
a
they have?
Posada Groupie in Teresina, Brazil.
Not Jorge Posada.
No.
He's not there, I don't think.
I am trying to find this hotel.
Yeah.
What's the night of action cost?
No.
What's that going to run me?
I'm not into the themed room deal.
Well, they used to have one in Valley Forge,
Yeah, they
which is
did.
now the casino.
Right.
They had the hotel with different floors, had different theme rooms.
Wasn't it a Radisson?
Yeah, it was a
Yes.
Radisson.
It was a Radisson.
It's still there.
Yeah, it's a circular building. right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then they have like the Moroccan room, and they'd have like the Star Wars room,
and the Elvis.
the Elvis
room.
suite.
Oh, wait.
Sweet.
Here it is. The Posada. The Posada.
That's what I said. Posada Groupie.
Groupie.
Yeah.
I sorry, didn't quite
Not
understand.
Jorge Posada.
No,
She missed all of that.
I know.
No, that's
who
not
they were.
quite what I heard.
Yes. Not into the Dove, Harry. That's different.
Yeah, that's
They give you one of those little like.
They got a
5,000
heart-shaped tub.
They
That's
got a
all they got.
heart-shaped
The
tub.
champagne tub.
Yeah,
the
like a
big
champagne glass?
I've actually
No,
always wanted
not
to
at
That's
the
at
try
the
end
that.
of
Penthouse Club.
Not at the Inn of the Dove. The Inn of the Dove has heart-shaped club.
Yeah.
They just have a regular hot tub in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
They have a fireplace where they give you one of those fake logs that you light up. I know I've been there with my wife back in the day.
In the middle of a parking lot in Ben Salem, they have it.
Exactly.
It's like a mile from the Lincoln Motor Inn.
And they still have the VHS tapes that you slide in to their 13-inch TV so you can set the mood for your loved one.
Do they have the vibrating beds
No,
too?
they don't do the
No,
vibrating.
you got to
bed.
put quarters in for those.
They don't have those. This is upscale.
Oh man!
And it always smells like Listerine. It smells like less toil in there. You ever
Less
You ever
toil?
smell less toil, Harry?
Well, I think they douse the rooms in Tang.
That's back in the good old days,
Yeah,
right,
man.
man?
Oh God!
Free HBO too. That's
Oh,
the other
really
good thing. Yes. They do have mirrors on the ceiling. You better have mirrors in the ceiling. I don't know if they do in the MMA place though, out there in Brazil. Not Bobo Brazil, of course.
Oh yeah, great wrestler.
One of the all-time greats in the WWF days. So there you have it on the suite. Now, if you go to Brazil, would you think about it when you go there?
I'm not going to Brazil.
You're not going
no.
to Brazil.
Well, I just looked it up on TripAdvisor and says travel is restricted to this destination, so
exactly.
nobody's
Oh,
going there
man.
anyway.
We went through all of that for that?
Exactly.
So even if you want to, so sorry.
Uh-huh.
Do people still go to like the Inn of the Dove?
Sure they do.
It's still
They have
open,
to be
right?
closed. I mean, regular hotels are closed.
No, but you
talk about
right
Trump.
now. But I'm
Yeah.
saying
This is exactly why they do still go. One is if they're having an affair. Two is if they are parents and they finally get
Yeah, that's what
grandma
I
and
used to do.
grandpa to take care of the kids, and they're, grandma and grandpa go to your house, so you have to
Right,
go
right,
somewhere
right.
That's
else.
what I used to do. That's how you get away from the kids for a night.
yeah.
You pay $120. You don't even, then they give you a bottle like Andre champagne in
Oh,
there.
nothing but the best.
the best.
I'll tell you.
I mean, give me one of the 1969 Andre Brutes.
And a nice plastic glass to drink it with, too,
Exactly.
Tony. Don't forget about
You
that.
can't have people like throwing glasses into the fireplace, Harry, into the fake fireplace. Come on, man. What's the matter with you?
What, do you got a Duraflame log in there?
They give you a door flame.
They do?
They're not going to allow like real wood fires in there. You know how many places, how many rooms we burned down? People are crazy, man. They don't respect property. Burn that sucker down, man. They tear the roof off that sucker.
Now, Tony, I have more pictures of the rest of the
Sweet MMA?
Posada Gruppi Hotel. Gruppi. You have to have the rolling R.
Robin's calling TripAdvisor right now as we speak.
Look, they have a nice spa room.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. There is no chance.
There's not enough sanitizer on Earth.
No way.
To get me
I
in
wouldn't
there.
go in there with a wetsuit.
How about the astronauts that are going up on the SpaceX? Those suits. Would you go in there with that and feel safe?
Probably. Yeah, probably.
Speaking of that, there's only one song I can think of when I think of this. Crank me up there, Josie. There we go. When I think of this sweet, you know what we playing in the background? This song.
What?
Go.
Oh, God.
Suave. What does it sound like so far in the distance?
Yeah,
you got a tinny sound
There's
to your
something wrong with your
player.
Your computer.
Do I have to throw this computer across the room after the show?
Yes. Yeah, turn it off. It sounds horrible.
Was this Gerardo?
That's it. That's Gerardo.
Or Gerardo.
I think it's Gerardo.
Yeah.
Geraldo Rivera used to be Jerry Rivers. I think he always stayed with Gerardo with Rico Suave. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
What a show. We got Bruce Arians tomorrow.
Bruce Arians?
Yeah.
Will he be wearing his Kangol hat?
I guarantee it.
Absolutely. Will he be drinking some
Crown Royal?
Crown Royal?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Maybe.
That's why we love it. Meanwhile, we want to thank everybody today. The great Chris Mortensen from ESPN, Bob Nightengale from USA Today, all the great callers. We will see you back here tomorrow for the Big Friday extravaganza. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. And God bless America. It's still the greatest place on earth. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night, everybody.
Man, these are the fastest 3 hours. Boom. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday.
It is Friday.
Tomorrow's Friday. We will see you.
I said Friday, Robin.
I know. I just screwed it up again. But we will see you tomorrow, Friday. Bruce Arians and Joe Eunice.
Joe Eunice at
Joe
3:20.
Eunice.
Joe Eunice.
Yes.
Not Joe Eunice's remote.
No.
That's a different guy.
We're excited to talk to him, so make sure you come back and bring a friend.
Did you see what the Dockside Donkey Show wrote?
I missed it.
This knife has a straight edge on it, so it's very easy, maybe, in our world here, to live a happy little mountain.
Thanks for tuning in to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays. Did you miss any of the show? Subscribe and download the audio available on all your favorite podcast apps such as iTunes, Spreaker, etc. Hope to see you back here live Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern on SiriusXM Channel 211 and Twitch.tv.
AJ Lopez.
All right, SB Nation, are you there?
Steve on my Twitch feed, not on the show's.
Yes, we're ready to go.
Okay. And did you catch that? The phone conversation between 521 and 526, the guy cursed a couple times during it?
Yeah, I got one bitch and one fucking. Was there anything else?
No, I thought he said something else.
526 was the F-bomb.
Yeah, 521, he said something.
He said shit earlier, and then he said fuck.
Okay, okay, I'll look for it. I got the F-bomb, so I'll look for the shit.
Shit. The last hour was just nothing but
calls
and
yeah.
and insanity.
Yeah, and the MMA updates and
yeah.
The first hour we had Mortensen.
Yeah, but we had Mortensen, but we talked about Bob Knight. We were talking about the baseball positivity for a change,
right?
And then we also talked about the negativity with Boros and what's his face,
Scherzer.
Yeah, Max Scherzer. Matt Scherzer. All right, here we go. You rolling, man?
I'm ready to go.